Hayden, take us in.
Previously on Dark Heresy.
Make yourself comfortable. This is a bit of a lengthy intro due to the fact that it spans 2.5 sessions. Out in the wastes, Silas Cassidy found what he was looking for. Forbidden xenotech. Some sort of pistol, an energy weapon, he suspected. It was non-functional and beyond his skill to repair, but it was exactly what that freak Gladstock had asked for. It was a single sealed unit, no seams, no obvious way to get inside. Most unusual. Back in the mansion, Slab gathered spare mattresses, making a nest in the storage room next to his garden. He had no desire to see what he had seen in Vernetta's quarters again. The sight of Canni, naked, wobbling, jiggling. The sight haunts Slab's dreams at night. He spent the day with his garden once more before visiting Vernetta, little buddy, telling her that he had fixed Gaius, grown him a new body after planting his head in the garden. This seemed unlikely to Vernetta, but she humoured the big guy. She suggested he might enjoy playing a game with Alyssa sometime. Meanwhile, Hannibal was out in the mid-hive somewhere, searching for signs of the beast house, and Siegfried spent the day drinking heavily whilst entertaining Gaius, a brain in a jar. Trantia continued her studies on the mansion. Ted slaved away on some mysterious project of his own. Pench made some drugs. And Les did whatever it is that Les does all day. Pause for Johnny. As evening came around, Siegfried visited Missy. This is part of what happened on Saturday in the private session. She was making him some soup to take with him on his return to Pagnis Tower. His favourite soup. Rashor soup. The smell of the soup bubbling away on the stove brought back memories to Siegfried. Memories of poverty, of dining in a crude wooden shack, of a pregnant mother and a thin-faced, weak father. But the memories became jumbled. Another place, another time, another dining table, one of opulence and wealth. Another man and another woman he had called father and mother, Lord and Lady von Morton of Granithor. And a sister, a brother, both older than Siegfried himself. Brother was being given responsibilities. He was being made a guardian. A guardian of what? Other memories too, of a time in his teens when Siegfried overheard father make a deal with someone named Beradrath, a deal to allow the Amaranthine Syndicate to build a corporate headquarters in the sacred forest of Remembrance on Granithor. He snapped out of it, feeling a little odd and disorientated. Thomas gave Siegfried a gift. Thomas gave him a blessed, poisoned sniper round. We won't worry too much about where Thomas got that from. Meanwhile, Theranos and Tichelos returned from Port Gaia. They brought with them Justicar Drummond and Gaius' team of Carol Hathard, Esther Beatson and Greta Pussysoft. Pause for Johnny. Each of them loyal, pious, God-Emperor-fearing souls, they declared their loyalty to the Inquisition. Their knowledge of your true identity, your purpose here, Gaius, will make your task easier to perform and your cover much easier to maintain. Beatson had already become suspicious of Gaius Mortalis, thinking there was something off about him and his behaviour. But now they are a part of your team, brought into the fold, and as loyal members of the Adeptus Arbites, they can be trusted. Right? Mesmeron had, after all, tasked you with finding recruits, although she specifically told you to keep them at arm's length, create sleeper agents, or simply a list of potential agents that she would have final say over. But things have changed in her absence. While bringing in Gaius' team to the mansion isn't exactly in line with her instructions, she placed Gladstock in command, and he has relieved himself of that command. Now it is Vernetta and Gaius in charge of this operation. And it was Vernetta's decision to bring these people in. Gaius is in no condition to have a say in the matter, and Vernetta was justified in that decision. Right? And the Inquisitor, if and when she returns, will be fine with that decision. Right? She trusts Drummond, and Drummond trusts his people, and she trusts Vernetta. Surely the Inquisitor, as an intelligent, logical, rational woman would commend Vernetta's decision to bring such loyal, pious, God-Emperor-fearing people into the mansion, into her own private slice of the Eldar webway. As is standard, the new recruits were tagged so they could be tracked, in case of emergency of course, no other reason, and to allow them to gain entry to the mansion, and then they were sent on their way back to Port Gaia. Varanus and Tichilos drove them there, after visiting Gaius briefly, apologising for the death of Thalix Graven. If there was anything they could do to make amends, just ask Gaius, they said, please. Gaius spent the day seething in his tank. And Inspire Pagni, as Lord and Lady Rains returned after a week's hunting or shopping trip, they never really quite were sure where they were, they spoke of the warning Siegfried had received. Gaius was here, looking for Siegfried. And on their arrival back at the mansion, they were contacted by Cale Marotti. He had the information Siegfried had requested. Would he like it now, or would it wait till morning? It could wait, said Siegfried, as he watched Lady Rains made her way to the west wing of the guest suite, to her own quarters, unzipping the dress as she passed into her bedchamber, glancing back at Siegfried with a coy smile, and leaving the door open. A clear invitation to her husband. And Siegfried followed. A night of unbridled passion followed, a display of her power, a shared experience in which both Siegfried and Trantia were, for a short while, not agents of the throne, not wanted murderers living a lie on the edge of a sector. They were simply a man and a woman. And in the moment of release, as both were brought back to reality, Siegfried saw the fire in Trantia's eyes, the dancing flames, and the creature within that played the tune to which she danced. A new day dawned on Desilium. Canni had strange visions of a land of bone, a voice whispering of blood and bellowing warning to some other unseen presence. No, this one is mine, it said. But it was a dream, just a dream, right, Canni? He woke and found Bean, bought some firebombs, visited his friends Santiago and Consuela, began making plans for mass-producing Walker Haddington's special brew, and for expanding his team. And Gaius, in the mansion, seethed in his tank. But shortly experienced a change of scenery, as he was taken to Lady Pagnis' tower, into the special projects wing, where he began to watch Magos Grus build his new body. And in the mid-hive, Hannibal continued to lean on the keepers of the tithe immutable. These people gather tithes in various forms from everyone, from all walks of life. They're well known as a good source of intel. They must know something about the Beast House. In Siegfried's absence, Serena and Plex had identified a possible target for Siegfried, and with the young psycho assassin providing a distraction and Plex providing surveillance, Lord Rains, von Morton, Reiselor, whatever the fuck his name is these days, gained entry to the private residence of one of Lady Pagnis' extended family, and withdrew some intel that might prove useful in the days to come. Vernetta continued to work on mechadendrite design. Silas, out in the wastes, traded some scrap with a fellow wanderer named Bertram Delaney. Bertram had found a strange xenotech device. Silas had no idea what it was, but he bought it anyway. Gladstock would be interested, he would be sure of that. There was a tense moment for Silas at a Prometheum lake. A shady couple of guys watched him as he refueled his truck, but they left without further incident. Most people in the wastes are looking for scrap, salvage, treasure, not trouble. And the thick armour and twin-linked autocannons of Silas's wagon are usually enough to dissuade would-be pillagers. Usually. Slab took a wander into the carnival. He met a young girl named Sasha, found Jax and Strang. They took him to meet old Wiley McCann, where talk was had about management fees. Slab wanted to fight, and Slab would fight. The arena was open to all comers, and over the next couple of days, Slab tended his garden by day, and at night fought in the arena. The crowd loved him! Much coin was won by Slab. Some of his friends, and even those in the crowd too, made a profit. All of these people can see the obvious result of these heavily one-sided arena duels. The odds are in Slab's favour, for obvious reasons. He towers above his opponents, outweighs them by an obscene amount. He is quickly becoming a fan favourite. Perhaps he will challenge the arena champion soon. After a couple of days, Wiley approached Slab and said it's maybe time to move on to the next category, rather than just fighting random all-comers. Meanwhile, Theranos went shopping, this time managing to avoid getting shot by an autocannon at point-blank range. Tichilos worked with the chainsword, working around some training dummies. He's become quite adept with this weapon now. It's doubtful he can learn anything more from such sterile combat against inanimate objects. Corell returned to Port Gaia, went on his patrols at night, worked out in the precinct's gym by night. That makes no sense. Meanwhile, beyond the mansion's wall, Spring continued her hunt for a replacement Otto. Trantia continued her studies on the mansion from Pagni Tower. Dr. Pench cooked up some Obscura, and Les did whatever it does that Les did all day. That doesn't make sense either. Pause for Johnny anyway. And in the evening, out in the wastes, Silas had a visitor. A man and his boy, desperate for food and water. They had wandered the wastes for weeks, they told Silas, exiled from the city after an incident. Silas took pity on them. The wastes could be harsh. It was a miracle they had survived this long. He gave them food and water for a few days. They camped in a small alcove nearby overnight, and in the morning they were gone. Rudolf Gustav was the man's name. His son, Rupert Gustav. They have been struggling to survive out here since they fled Hive Decileum after an attempt on their lives. Rudolf, a desperate man who sought only the best for his son, had tried to blackmail a very dangerous man. This was foolish. And the very dangerous man had sent a trio of other dangerous men to deal with him. Those dangerous men had found Rudolf Gustav and were so very close to permanently dealing with him. But then they found the boy. And they realised that Rudolf was just a desperate man, and they gave him a choice to flee the city, or he and his son would die. And Rudolf fled. The three dangerous men could have chosen to lie to the man who had set them this task, but they did not. They told the truth. They had let Gustav go. And the very dangerous man was pleased by this. It was a test, he said, and you have passed. He shook the hands of one of the three dangerous men, a very large, meaty, sweaty hand. Welcome to the Brotherhood, King Sanchez had said to Canni, over a month ago now. And now, a month later, that same man, Rudolf Gustav, has entered Silas? No, he's encountered Silas in the wastes. And Silas, too, gave the man and the boy a chance.
The one I said murder.
Yeah. It was Johnny who, it was pause for Johnny. It was Johnny who held the killing back, I think. And Silas, too, has now given this man and his boy a chance, for which there will be no repercussions. Another new day dawned on Decileum. The same dream for Canni. Fields of bone, gigantic alien-looking structures like huge black fingers thrusting into an unfamiliar sky. Canni has begun pushing his way around Ludmilla's den. He has a reputation to keep. It's time to start making himself known down here. Gaius seethed in his jar, watching as Magos Grus continued to assemble his new body. Siegfried went low profile in House Pagni, while his team begins to plot and scheme. Hannibal continued to pressure the tithers. Vernetta returned the stolen money to the carnival a month after everyone said they would. Wiley's off-world savings. He's going to need a lot more than that to get all the Canni folk onto a spacecraft. Trantia appeared in the mansion once more, spoke to Vernetta about her concerns regarding Canni. She feared the pit fighter has been exposed to something. He seems to know far more than he should about certain dark things. Spring came home too, introduced Vernetta to Zelda Octavia Rosario Harmore, a nerd with a taste in naughty books. She was to become Otto's replacement. She has not volunteered for this. It seems Spring has strong-armed her into joining you, but the promise of knowledge of less than savoury things, seems to intrigue her. After lighting a candle photo and saying a few words for the fallen adept, Vernetta headed to spy Pagnis to begin the next part of her own augmentation process. Silas continued to scavenge in the wastes. There were raiders out here, mutants too. He gave them a wide berth. Ferinus and Tichelos continued to practice combat drills. Trantia continued to study the tome of knowledge on the mansion. Pench made some chems, and Les did whatever it is that Les does all day. Carell worked out in the precinct and patrolled, and in the evening Hannibal found himself in one of the many sanctioned bloodsport arenas of the Decelia Midhive. After almost a week of looking, he has turned up naught. And along with Vasquez and Light, he came here to this place to await the arrival of Eric, another of King Crimson's men. Eric had a message from the king, one that must be delivered in person, and he gave to Hannibal a bolt shell, a particularly large, oversized bolt shell. It would get Hannibal an audience with someone who might know something about the Beast House. That someone's name was King Sanchez. And in a nightclub known as Ludmilla's Den, you found him, and he told you that while he did not work with the Beast House, he knew someone who did. One Miss Izinama, leader of the Golden Dawn. Someone who specializes in pit fights against forbidden things. Sanchez introduced Hannibal to an employee of his, one whom Miss Izinama had been trying to buy for some time. This person's reputation as a pit fighter has travelled far and wide. It seems he's something of a minor celebrity in such circles. Canni, up until this point, had been having a strange old time. Dreams, hallucinations. He was becoming distracted, hearing voices. The young dancing girl who summoned him to the bar said that he had been muttering a name. Canni did not remember this. Gorebound, she said. Coracha Gorebound. What sort of a name was that? She had summoned Canni because someone was here to see him. It was Seraph. Just checking in, she said. She asked how Canni was, how he was feeling, had he had any strange dreams? How had he known the name of one of the dark gods of the warp? The usual chit-chat between old friends, right? Nurgle is a rubbish god. Canni had said these words as he cleaved the herald in two. He was not wrong. But how does a humble pit fighter learn the name of the dark god of pestilence and decay? As the two of them, Seraph and Canni, sat and talking, they witnessed Hannibal enter Ludmilla's den for an audience with the king. And shortly afterwards, Canni was summoned to the king's side. Well, this was odd, a little awkward. Hanni and Canni and the king. No, they didn't know each other, they lied, when Hannibal greeted Canni by name. Hannibal must have seen Canni fight down in the carnival. Yes, that was it. And King Sanchez gave Canni a task. Help Hannibal win an audition to join the Golden Dawn's arena circuit. Get him an audience with Miss Izinami. Find out what she knows about the Beast House. Soon after, Canni, Hannibal and Seraph found themselves in the Golden Dawn's arena, facing a trio of the Golden Dawn themselves, 3 heavily armoured men with huge axes, and an Ogrin. The fight was short and sweet. Hannibal hurling a knife into the Ogrin's eye, which Canni then hammered home with the Ogrin's own weapon, before the Carnival's finest, their chosen team name, comprised of the Cannibal, the Demon Blade Master, and King Killatron, finished off the rest of their combatants. Did anyone notice the legendary Canni of the Carnival feasting on the dead Ogrin's flesh whilst bellowing, "Blood, blood, I dedicate this kill to Gorebound"? Yes. Most certainly yes. How could one not notice such a thing? Trophies were taken. Miss Izanami was met. You won a place on her arena circuit. Once a week, you would be invited to fight in a variety of environments against a variety of foes. There was coin in it for you. And maybe if you proved yourself, you might face off against some more interesting opponents, she promised. Of course, there is an alternative way you could learn what you wish to know. You have a vague idea of the numbers in Miss Izanami's lair. You have allies. You could just kick the door down, take her by force, drag her to the mansion, and interrogate her. Nah. It would, of course, have its risks. Beyond the threat of death in violent combat, of course. But if it worked, imagine what you could learn. On the walk back home, you spoke of Tyranids. Canni swore an oath to help Hannibal. No, Canni swore an oath to help Hannibal seek out and destroy these creatures, or the hive might be doomed. Canni's home would be consumed. Canni and Hannibal bumped fists. Bros. Hannibal spoke to Seraph. You enjoyed that, he said to her. She did indeed. She had enjoyed the fight. And Hannibal and Canni had tried to persuade Seraph to come back into the fold for good. Mesmeron was gone. Gladstock was locked away. No one was really in charge, well, except for Vernetta, and Gaius was in a jar. Otto was dead. There was so much going on here. Gelt and Speyer and Scale and Tyranids. So much going on. And there is so little in the way of true leadership in the mansion. Seraph was no leader, though. Perhaps another Inquisitor is needed to get to the bottom of all this, somebody suggested. I know of Inquisitor Van Voigens, said Hannibal. He's a trustworthy Inquisitor and no mistake. But where is he? He left you here, Hannibal, and you have no means of contacting him until he returns. Somewhere in the depths of the hive on your return to the mansion, you encountered Bogey. Someone Canni met a long time ago. He was setting himself up as a preacher in a ruined old temple not far from the carnival, but he had yet to find a congregation. You bought some stuff from him, deck cord, IO sticks. The subject of Ferinus came up on the way home. He had killed a lead in a roundabout way. Was Ferinus to be trusted, or was he a traitor? Who knows? And you spoke of the carnival, of Seraph's plan to leave the world. It was not going well. She was concerned she might soon be dethroned from the champion's podium. There was a newcomer, she said, wiping the floor with everyone. She seemed afraid of him. You spoke of jungles. What's a jungle? Asked Canni. Seraph has seen jungles, and worlds that sound a little like Hannibal's home. She named one, Burnscour, a death world, she called it. She had been there, she told you. She seemed to phase out for a moment, as she mentioned this, lost in time and memory. And you spoke of the Inquisitor, Antonia Mesmeron. Seraph mentioned that Mesmeron hadn't always been the way that she was. She wasn't always a manipulative, cold-hearted, slightly psychotic bitch, she said. That had started after Staven died. Who's that then? Asked Canni. Who's Staven? Staven Arcturus, Inquisitor of the Ordo Xenos, whom both Mesmeron and Gladstock had once been beholden to. Arcturus, Seraph told you, was killed by Gelt, and Mesmeron hunts Gelt. Seraph said that Mesmeron hunts him not from a sense of duty. It was vengeance she sought, for Staven Arcturus and Antonia Mesmeron had been man and wife. And then back to the carnival, to the mansion, arriving just as the sun of Desilium begins to rise in the east. But of course you don't see the sun this far down, where the dregs of society lurk, where naught but darkness can be found, and the things that lurk within the shadows wait and watch. Hannibal and Canni. Where is Johnny? Oh, there in a minute, passed out. Righto, he's on his way.
Let him sleep.
What a fucking nonce. Okay, Hannibal and Canni. The foyer of the mansion is quiet, dimly lit, the lumen globes on reduced output as you enter this mansion. But they increase in brightness as they detect your presence. But otherwise the mansion is still. Seraph pauses for a moment, her gaze locked on the portraits at the top of the staircase. The two large central ones dominate the gallery. On the right, the familiar, cold, beautiful face of Antonia Machenko, Inquisitor Mesmeron, as she is more commonly known to you, and on the left, the tall, handsome, dark-skinned man that features in so many other portraits around this mansion. "I'm surprised you never really noticed," says Seraph, gesturing at the portraits. "I mean, he's right there. That was Stephen Arcturos. When I first found the Inquisitor, dying in the rubble from Gelt's trap, she was muttering his name. She told me about him later. He'd been dead for over a year, executed. A bolt round to the head, point blank, apparently. Mesmeron had found him, or what was left of him. And she was still grieving when we met. She was vulnerable and broken. Her colleagues told me most of this, of course. Before that, she had been a different person. Jovial, they said, friendly, warm, unusual for someone in her line of work. And I saw the occasional glimpse of that during her time in the carnival. That's why she and I... But then after...
So you got on the rebound then?
Pretty much, yeah. You know, she was... we're both lonely, both horny. You know how it goes. But after that, after we left Desilium and she took me to the House of the Whispered Hand, she changed. She became obsessed with revenge. And for 7 years we hunted Gelt, and she became tormented, twisted with hate. And she cared more for her long-dead husband than she ever would for me. And when I said that to her, she had my fucking memory erased. But it turns out that mind-wiping doesn't erase memories, it buries them. And then Speyer dug them up again. While I was under his dominion, I remembered everything, and I could do nothing but watch as he used these hands to kill those people on Laskin. And when she exorcised Speyer from me, I don't understand what happened, but there was a moment where we were connected, Antonia and I, and afterwards, I just didn't care what she had done to me. I still knew that she had erased my memories, but I didn't care anymore. I didn't care about anything. She didn't care about Gelt. And for 3 years, we just waited here in this fucking house doing nothing. And then one night, I heard a rumour of an agent of Gelt's being sighted on a world of Iacanthos, a man named Maxim Den. He was one of those that trapped me, performed the ritual on me. I started to care again, and I wasn't waiting for her, and so I went to Iacanthos with one of my sisters. We were going to kill this Den, but while we were tracking him, I heard a name that I had heard recently, a name that I had heard the Inquisitor mention. Something about a family being purged on the world of Granithor. She had mentioned the name Von Morton. And so on Iacanthos, my sister went after Den. He was out in the desert working for some local warlord, and I waited in town for Von Morton. I never saw her again. She killed Den, of that I'm sure, but I don't think she got out of that war camp alive. Von Morton was there as well, and he turned up in town a few days later. I told him about his family, and I took him to Scintilla, gave him to Mesmeron. And she didn't recognize his name. But I had heard her say Von Morton. I swear I did. And then she sent him to the House of the Whispered Hand, just as she had me, had him trained. And then one night, shortly after, we had 2 visitors, Inquisitors. And then all this began. She sent Gladstock to find Gaius. I went and retrieved Siegfried from the House of the Whispered Hand. And then people started dying. Dromar District, Pandora Station, then Speyer, the Denunciation, running away here to all places, back to where we met. I've never understood any of this, but one thing I do know is that it all began with the death of one man. She points at the portrait at the top of the stairs. Stephen Arcturos. She sighs and looks to her right, to the door that leads to the chapel. If you'll excuse me, gents, I'll have to have a word with the old man. She heads inside the chapel. It has been 33 days since Inquisitor Mesmeron left the mansion. Hannibal and Canni, you've been awake a long time. You can continue this day as normal and risk exhaustion, or you can grab a few hours sleep and half your time in power play for the rest of the day.
First of all, Dave, I've sent you a message on Messenger.
Uh-huh.
I think I need to go see Dr. Pench personally because I've still heavily affected by Nurgle's rot.
Yep.
So I'm not feeling up to my normal self, so I'd like to go and see Pench, I think.
All right. So, yeah, in answer to the question you asked me, yes, you are. Yep.
Okay. I think we've got a Red Johnny.
You feel better for it.
I do feel better for Red Johnny being close.
Red Johnny.
Hi, Red Johnny.
Red Johnny's the best.
Hi,
Johnny.
sorry
It's not
about
like that
the-
Green Johnny. Fucking Green Johnny.
As
no.
for Yellow Johnny, oh, he was the worst of the
Usurper.
Johnnies.
Well, fuck Yellow Johnny.
With his scrap
Yeah.
code and his fucking
Yeah.
Like cheap,
What a dick.
cheapest look.
harsh robotic noise.
Sorry.
How we doing, Johnny?
Yeah, not too bad. I was very tired. I passed out. Yeah.
Blessed sleep. So now you're going to be
Sleep.
ready to fight.
Now I'm fresh and ready for the game.
Very good.
So, no, I'm ready.
Okay. Well,
I
you
was
haven't
born ready.
you haven't missed much, Johnny. We've just done a very lengthy recap, which covers the last 2.5 sessions.
Wow. Okay.
Including your little moment with Trantia and
Oh, yeah.
that sort of shit.
Hot stuff. Hot stuff.
Hot stuff,
Oh, yeah.
indeed. So that these guys know a bit of what happened. They know that you saw something dancing in the fire in her eyes, but the characters themselves don't know that, obviously. All right,
Yeah.
so Canni, you mosey on down into the mansion, into the infirmary. Excuse me. It's early morning. It's dawn. The infirmary is quiet. No one's in any of the beds. The lighting is very dim in here. It's almost like emergency lighting until the moment you step in and then the main lights come on. What would you like to do?
Where's Pench? Is he normally in his little room?
Yeah.
A room in here.
Yeah, he's got a little room over here that you've been in a few times, I think. That's where he keeps the good stuff.
I'll go and hammer on his door.
Okay, I'd like to make a hearing-based awareness check, please. You hear a sudden scream from inside, and it's a single word, and the word is "incoming!" And then you hear something
Would you
fall
just repeat
over.
that word? Sorry, it got cut out a bit.
Incoming! And then you hear a smash and a clatter, and then a fuck! Oh, Jesus! No, Drusus! And then there's a bit more stumbling and smashing, and eventually the door opens, and Pench peers out. His hair's in disarray. He's wearing rather grubby nightshirt, and he's got like dried drool all down one side of his face. One of his eyes is half shut. He's like, "Oh, fucking hell, Canni, you're scared to shower me. What's up?"
Right, mate. Did I disturb you?
Yeah, it's like... He looks round. It's 7:23 in the morning.
Not a morning person, are you, Pench? You surprised me.
No, not really.
Thought you'd been up for an hour already.
No. I've been in bed about 3 hours.
Oh. So you'll be ready to do a bit of a doctoring and surgery then?
I guess. Well, what's up?
I've just not been since we faced the cult and that shit demon. It's not been the same. He's given me. I think it's because I insulted his god. He's given me some kind of fucking lurgy. I've just been coughing and I've just not been. I can't breathe properly. I'm just not strong like I used to be.
Oh fuck!
It's done something to me bowels.
Oh fucking hell! I hope it ain't the same thing as Gaius had, because there's a lot more of you. Just go have a seat.
I don't want to be a brain in the jar. I'd be better off dead.
I mean, we wouldn't need as big a jar on the plus side, but go have a sit on the autosurgeon.
Pench, promise me if it comes to that, you'll just put me down. It's better to be dead.
I mean, I took an oath, do no harm and all that, I'll get someone else.
Pench, promise me. I don't want to live like that.
I tell you what, if it comes to that, and you had to pick someone to do it, who would it be?
Siegfried.
Yeah,
Fucking
cool.
enjoy it.
He would,
Yeah,
you're
he'd
right.
enjoy
Yeah.
it. He wouldn't be that bothered.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll
Probably enjoy it.
If it comes to that, I'll get Siegfried to put one for the head. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, get
Two
on
or
the auto
three.
surgeon.
Gears Page, yeah. I'll
Just
hop
to,
on.
just to be sure. The wind seems to say.
Okay.
Do you hear something? I've been hearing voices recently. They keep whispering to me. They say, blood. You get that?
I mean, I do sometimes hear voices, Canni. I'll be honest, but
Yeah.
they don't say that to me.
So much blood.
They say a lot of things to me, but blood's not one of them. I do sometimes dream of blood, but
Yeah, me too.
it's not in quite the same way as you are, I suspect. He's going to just do a little diagnosis on you. Oh yeah. Oh dear. That's interesting. Do you know anything about chromosomes, Canni?
Yeah, I'm somewhat of a specialist.
You know how many humans normally have?
Yeah. Yeah, of course I know.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I'm not even going to roll for that. He doesn't even. He doesn't believe you for a minute that you know what that is. Oops. He's going to go, yeah. Interesting. I've never really looked at your DNA, really. This machine, you see, it could show me all sorts of things about your body. You know, most humans, Canni, have 46 of these things called chromosomes. Do you know how many you've got?
46.
83.
Oh, more's better, right?
Yeah, of course.
It means I'm twice the man. Say that fucking Siegfried.
Yeah, sure. Tell you what I'm going to do, Canni, I'm going to take a couple of samples, yeah? Compare them to some samples we took of you when you first came in.
Yeah.
Because pretty certain I might have noticed that before. You know, when you first
Maybe,
arrived.
Yeah.
A little bit
Maybe
weird.
you were just stoned or something.
Yeah, probably. Quite likely.
Yeah.
Anyway, now the good news, Canni, is I can see exactly what's up with you. You've got, let me just count a minute, 264 different kinds of virus running around inside your body right now.
You what?
Yeah, they're not. It's not a good thing. Luckily,
To be why my bowels are playing up.
it might be. Yeah. Quite frankly, I'm a little gobsmacked that you're still alive. Now, I'm not sure, but I think the fact you've got almost double the amount of chromosomes might have something to do with the reason you're not dead.
Oh, good. Told
So-
you it was an advantage.
Yeah, it seems to be. It might not be. I mean, it's early days. We'll see what happens. Oh, look at that. You know, I said you had 83 chromosomes. You got 84 now.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
More the merrier.
another one just popped in there. Weird that. Anyway, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a little special cocktail drug of mine I developed some time back for this sort of situation. What it should do is hopefully start going after that them viruses, start picking them off. You know, start making you feel a little better. I want you to take it easy for a few days, though. You know.
Yeah.
And if you like, you know, hear any strange noises, just ask anyone else if there's, you know, if anyone that's nearby, if they're around, ask them if they hear the strange noises. If they do, don't worry about it. If they say no, then just you know, come and let me know what noises you hear. And if you see anything moving about in front of your eyes that you don't think should be there, don't worry about it too much, especially if it looks like it might be like a little insect or something. You know, it's just a bit of a hallucination. You know, you're used to that sort of thing, right?
Yeah, of course.
It definitely ain't going to be nothing running around inside your eyeball, all right?
Yeah, I'm I'm used to that one. I've had that one a few times.
Yeah. You know the score. Yeah. So anyway, let me give you a little.
I've been around the block, Pinch. You know that.
Yeah. We both have, haven't we? Now, just let me get this needle here and give you a quick stab with this. Here we go. Okay, what was your total amount of stat reduction?
Okay, now I think I was on.
I
Okay, so I think I've lost 13 strength and 13 toughness.
Okay, so you regained 3 points of both for now. He says, just keep popping back every day and we'll soon get you right as rain.
Yeah, nice one. Cheers, Pinch.
All right. What else would you like to do, Canni?
Cough and see Missy next, but yeah, let someone else have a turn.
Okay.
Wow. Missy's next protocol.
Gaius. Sorry.
For a wee.
Okay. Gaius.
Yeah.
For the last couple of days, you've watched as the Magos Grus assembles a number of complex mechanical components.
Teething.
Yes, while seething in your tank. At first, you think that this Magos Grus must be mad. He seems to be just haphazardly bolting together a variety of weird and wonderful devices into something that looks like it belongs in a starship or a factorum. But today, on the third day of his work, by around midday, you're beginning to see the mechanism take shape and you're starting to make sense of what you see. And you realise you're looking at the complex workings of these devices that are going to be the core of your insides. And he assembles this two halves of a shell of some dull bluish metal around this mechanism. And it's shaped like a human torso, but without any muscle definition. And then he begins to attach appendages to this torso, and they as well seem crude at first, and you think surely this isn't the new me. They look like very simple robotic limbs. They don't even look as good as the arm that you had. But then once he's finished assembling these arms and legs to the body, he begins to trigger panels on the arms and the legs, and you see parts slide open. And you see the equipment stored within. You recognise the grapple hand has been reattached. You recognise the weapon that's built in there. You see the las cutter and the combi tool in the other arm. You even see the equipment he's installed into your legs and feet. And the Magos works mostly in silence, very efficiently, barely pausing. And he barely acknowledges your presence on the bench nearby, save for one moment when he seems to regard you for a few seconds, staring at your tank.
Blow a little heart-shaped bubble.
He turns back to his work, and he conjures up this holographic image next to him, a life-sized holographic image of you, naked, just standing like Vitruvian Man with your arms and legs spread, and it's rotating, this image. And he stares at this for a moment, and then he begins attaching these thin strands of some sort of polysteel cabling onto the torso and the arms and the legs, attaches it to the upper arms and rebuilds them into layers. And you realise he's creating like some sort of mechanical, artificial muscle mass, and he's copying the image of the holographic image of you. And then he speaks to you for the first time in 3 days. And he says, I envy you, Gaius Mortalis. To be given a blessing like this is truly a gift of the Omnissiah. I am his humble servant. It is my honor to create this vessel for you, but I cannot help but feel a pang of jealousy. Something I have not felt in so very long. It took me many years to reach the level of purity I am blessed with, 76.9934% pure. But following this procedure, you will be 97.32% machine. If I had tear ducts, I would weep with joy for you.
Blow a few excited bubbles for him.
You can speak, remember. You've got Jeeves's little Vox grill.
Oh, yes. What's Steve's voice like, Dave?
You've never heard it.
Oh.
But this can speak like anything you want, basically.
I'll say, Omnisci be praised. I will put this gift of my body to great use. No more will I worry about disease or fret.
No disease, but perhaps you will have to be careful of viruses. Ha, ha, ha.
I'm gonna join it. I'll give a little binary blurt back of laughter.
Okay.
I know a bit of tech.
Your mistress, the Lady Machenko, must value you greatly. To be willing to part with such coin on your behalf, I can only hope that one day my Lady Pagnis will one day value my life as much.
Oh, you are surely worth more than mine. The wonders you could do for people injured is amazing.
He pauses for a moment as he's connecting the muscle, and he turns back and looks at you and goes, "If only you knew." And goes back to work.
Full again.
The day continues like this. Occasionally he acknowledges you, talks to you a little bit.
First time I've spoken to him in days.
Yeah, he's never spoken to you at all before. He keeps building up the muscles. And as the day comes to an end, the chassis is complete. This shining form, like a human-shaped suit of armour almost, with bulging polysteel cable muscles, stands before you, but it has no head. And he says, "Tomorrow, one of our flesh sculptures will apply the synth flesh coating, while I assemble the cranium. Would you wish to observe the process, Mr. Mortalis?"
Of course. Be most beneficial.
Good. It will only take a few hours. The rest of the day I must spend attending to your companion, Miss Vernetta Calamere. I created her replacement gastric system myself. It is a simple process to install for one of my Biologis Adepta, but tomorrow is the final day of her procedure. The subdermal armor implantation can be tricky and may interfere with the cosmetic work I have carried out. I prefer to carry out the final stages of such work myself. If one must insist on retaining flesh, it should at least be perfect in its appearance. The scar tissue left by her previous surgeon would be considered ugly by those who concern themselves with such things, but when I am done, she will have a chiselled six-pack like one of the sculptures in Spire Pagni.
I commend your efforts. You must make it perfect.
Ha, ha, ha. That was a joke. The day after that, we will carry out your final installation. I was considering asking Miss Calamere to assist. I believe she is quite skilled herself, and a little knowledge of your systems may prove useful to her in the future should you become damaged and I am unable to attend you.
Affirmative.
I will, however, also require the presence of the surgeon who saved your life. My area of expertise is in mechanical augmentation and cosmetic surgery, and while I admit I have working knowledge of neurosurgery and implantation, I would prefer to have the skilled hands of the man who saved your life present for the implantation, even if he is himself unaugmented, as I believe.
Penge is his name.
Can he be
I'll
contacted?
call for him.
That would be most beneficial to your procedure.
Can you grab me a Vox terminal, hold the button down for me, and dial the code for me, too? Please make sure you hold the handpiece to my Vox grill.
Yeah, okay. So, over the next few minutes, he manages to rig you up to the Vox terminal, because you do have, like, a couple of jack leads and stuff. He connects you up, and you're able to contact the terminal and invite Dr. Penge to come and help.
That's what I'll do. I'll leave him a stunning voicemail
Okay.
in the voice of a beautiful lady. Use my Vox.
Oh, scored. Fucking nice one. Okay. We've lost Johnny.
Yeah, that's me.
Where's Red Johnny
He'll
gone?
be back. He'll be back.
Yeah.
Probably nodded off again.
Yeah. Right, as night comes, Gaius, you are left alone, bubbling away in your tank, gazing at the muscular, unblemished, unscarred form of a perfect replica of your own body, minus the head, of course. And you realise it's too perfect. There are no scars upon your back from hours and hours of flagellation. There are no tattoos. There are no words of sin inked into your synth flesh. So while you're in your tank staring at this for the rest of the night and probably some of the day, is anything else you'd like to do, Gaius?
Well, I'm going to contemplate world,
Okay.
universe, think to myself, wonder why I can't shut my eyes, and just stare at my suit, which I'm forced to look at.
All night staring at your own
Yeah,
false
but-
body. What
Wondering
torture is
if it'd
this?
be wise to put the scars back on and ruin such a beautiful suit.
Okay.
Likes its purity.
You are pure again. Although you may be machine, you are pure. Okay.
97.6% pure.
Yep. Pure machine, baby. Meanwhile, somewhere in Spire Eldon, on the small offshoot tower known as Pagnis Tower, it's first thing in the morning, Siegfried. Breakfast is served in your private suite by one of Lady Pagnis' servants. Trantia smiles coyly at you from across the table as she breaks the shell of her boiled tukar egg imported from several systems over. "What's on the agenda today, husband?" she asks, dipping the toast into the bluish yolk somewhat provocatively.
A bit more of that, I would say. I don't know. I thought we could maybe go out and socialise today together.
Oh,
If you're free.
that would be lovely, husband. I don't see why we can't do that. Trantia's eyes flicker for a moment, and you see flames there, and she gasps. "Good morning, my lord and lady Rains. I have information you've requested. Thank you, Cale. It's my birthday today. 2 days from now. Would you care to join me for dinner?" "Oh, Jesus!" Her head snaps round to the doors that lead out into the rest of Pagnis Tower. Someone knocks on the door. Trantia snaps her eyes back round to you, her eyes wide with shock. "It's Cale and Lady Pagnis," she says. "By Drusus, I haven't been able to do that in years."
Perhaps you need a little something in order to
Shag the
awaken
psychic
power.
free.
If you love someone, Johnny, you've got to set them free.
She
That's it.
she
Reach
smirks.
for
She smirks as she gets up and opens the door, letting Cale Marotti and Lady Pagnis in. Cale Marotti steps in and says, "Good morning, my lord and the Lady Rains. The information you requested." And he places a hollow wafer on the table beside you, Siegfried, and then steps back. And says, "Also, there have been no signs of this threat, intruder you perhaps warned me of. No attempts at surveillance have been detected, no attempted intrusions physically or otherwise. But my people and our systems remain vigilant."
Excellent news. That would really spoil breakfast if bad news would really spoil my breakfast and appetite,
Of course.
potentially.
Lady Pagnis says, "Thank you, Cale. That will be all." Dismisses him. "My lady," he says. Lady Pagnis steps towards you, Siegfried, and says, "I apologise for interrupting your breakfast. but I have to be off for a couple of days, business trip. Some of our imports are being held in customs in Orbital Dock 11 thanks to this bloody lockdown, and it can't be released without my signature. Anyway, you don't need to worry about that. But I was wondering, it's my birthday 2 days from now. I was wondering if you'd care to join me for dinner. It's just that I have a table booked at L'Endroit Chic, quite an exclusive place. 5 years waiting list, if you can believe it. And I had planned to go with Cecil and Delmont, but so much can happen in 5 years.
We would love to join you, wouldn't we, Tranter?
Franti says, "No, that sounds absolutely delightful." Lady Pagnis says, sorry, Johnny, go on.
Sounds unmissable.
It's a fantastic place. I've never actually been, but I've heard a great deal about it. Kale will fly us to the Apex, and we'll have a car waiting to take us to the restaurant. I was wondering, should I invite your friends, since they're here in the tower, Mr. Mortalis and Miss Calamir? They'll both have new stomachs. What better way to celebrate such a thing?
Why not? Could be fun.
Excellent. It's a date then. Oh, and if there's any of your other friends that you think would perhaps enjoy such a thing, they're welcome to come. My treat, of course. But and I hate to say this, there is a very strict no abhuman rule.
Brain in a jar. They okay.
Yeah, brain in a jar.
Well, hopefully Mr. Mortalis will be finished by then.
Sorry, I don't know. The wind seems to say.
We could always get some takeout for him.
I mean, it's a little unorthodox, but yeah.
Yes. Who knows? We could get them to send it. 5 years waiting list. I mean, there must be something pretty special. If they don't deliver, then a bad review could be the ruination of it.
I think they do liver in a variety of other offal.
Very good, my lady. Very good. Yes, I'm sure he'd appreciate that. Appreciate the gesture.
Okay.
What do you say? What do you say, wife? Do you think would that be? That should be enjoyable. We should be seen together. We've both been preoccupied with our own pursuits lately. It'd be nice to spend the time out together.
Exactly. I'm sure Gaius and Vernetta would relish the chance to get out for a nice bite to eat as well.
Absolutely. We'll send the invite.
Excellent. Okay, so Siegfried. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's alright. So I'll have to look into this place and see if there's any do you have any? Just out of curiosity, not really heard. Do you have any information about this place?
Oh, it's
anywhere
rather exclusive. I mean, you'll find reviews on the Datasphere, but it's a very exclusive place. Like I say, 5-year waiting list. It's most of the food is imported, and it is in the style of Hive Tarsus of Scintilla.
Fantastic.
I hear the legendary Quintius Tarquinius Thespis III helped design some of the recipes.
Oh my goodness me! This really is an exclusive place. I've heard of this Quintius.
Who hasn't? Such a dashing young man.
Indeed. So dashing.
Men want to be him.
Terrible.
Women want to be with him. Everything in between is him.
Yes, he really is all-encompassing. His fame and celebrity are known throughout the known universe. From what I hear.
Right. So yeah, if you later on the day look up this restaurant, it is a legitimate restaurant. It's been open for around 35 years. It's like the fanciest restaurant in the whole of Hive Decileum. It's as close to the top of the Apex, which is the central spire of Hive Decileum. It's as close to the top of that as it can be without being in the planetary governor's quarters itself. So it's, in other words, right next to the planetary governor's quarters. It's also rumoured that the planetary governor eats there quite frequently.
This could be the opportunity I need to take him out. Siegfried her out. Siegfried thinks to himself. Hostile takeover. Imagine it now, Siegfried sat on a throne. The governor's office.
Governor Siegfried. Right. So, Power Play Day 33, Siegfried. What are you doing for the rest of Power Play Day 33?
Well, I did say do low risk sort of stuff. Or we could maybe do some high risk stuff.
Let me just check on something. Oh yeah, that'll kick in tomorrow because I made a little miscalculation. So something that I thought was going to happen today will happen tomorrow. But yeah. So let me just check on. So you do have enough to generate a mission, but that won't kick in until tomorrow. You don't have enough to do an operation. So yeah, it'd have to be low or high risk today.
Yeah, I'll do some low risk stuff today with Transia.
Yeah, just mingling.
Mm-hmm.
So just give me a fellowship test, and you get a +10 for having peer nobility. You also get a plus something else.
For Transia, I think, isn't it?
No, for this one you don't. So it's just it's just a fellowship with a +10 for this one.
Okay. Let's see. Siegfried, famed for his people skills, killing people skills. Mostly though. A second. +10. Let's keep on to the hogs, guys. +10. Oh, bear with me.
Cool.
Okay.
Right. So that's got you a bit more rep.
Cool.
So that was a decent roll. There you go. So you gained 5 reputation with the nobility today, and you gained 2 with Lady Pagnis.
Excellent.
All right. And then moving on.
Wonderful.
Hannibal. So, as I said to Al, I think you were maybe AFK when I said this. You can either, because you've travelled all the way back to the mansion, you've been up for about 24 hours now, you can push on with the rest of the day as normal and sleep at the end of the day and risk potentially exhaustion, or you can rest for a few hours and basically get half a day to do something with.
I'll just take the day off.
Okay. Anything in particular you want to do?
No.
Okie dokie. Chilling in the mansion.
Mm-hmm.
Any particular room you're going to be in the mansion? This may or may not be important.
Various.
Okay. Then in that case, if anything in particular happens in the mansion, I'm going to give you a 20% chance of being in the area when it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just remember that number because I'll forget. Vernetta. It's day 8 of your augmentation process. It's late in the day when you come round. You cannot feel your body. A Plastech sheet obscures the view of your abdomen and everything below it as you lay on the operating table. Strange machinery hangs above you. You hear the whir of pumps, the beep of equipment. There are 3 or 4 people standing around you. It's hard to make them out. Your vision swims. They mutter as they gaze at whatever it is that lays behind the sheet. The rest of your body and your legs, you hope. "She's awake," says one of them. And a figure moves closer. A woman, dark-skinned, her face wrinkled, weathered, kind eyes. She pulls down a surgical mask from her mouth and smiles at you. "Welcome back, Miss Calamere. I'm pleased to inform you the operation has been a success. You are the proud owner of a fully functioning digestive system once more."
Netta will allow herself a little smile.
Now, I'm going to put you under again. It's important that everything stays put and isn't jostled around for the next few hours. You'll be placed in a hermetically sealed environment and the chamber will be flooded with a regenerative fluid that helps the bonding process. And it's not particularly pleasant to be awake, as I'm sure you can imagine. Now, I can offer you two alternatives at this point. A peaceful, deep sleep where you will most likely wake up tomorrow all finished off and be blissfully unaware of the passage of time, or, well, let's just say some of our clients like to experience a more interesting time while they slumber.
What does that mean?
Well, induced dreaming, it can be quite a wild ride.
No, none of that, please. We'll just have some sleep.
Very good.
I have quite enough wild rides as it is, thank you.
Excellent. You'll be taking the blue pill. Tomorrow, the Magos is going to be closing you up, finishing off the dermal upgrade and rebuilding the damage to the musculature and bone. It looks like you've really been through it.
Yes, it's been tough.
Well, those days are behind you now. I must say, though, about your old digestive system, I find it very strange that someone skilled enough to create such a thing couldn't have just replaced it with a vat-grown or cybernetic system. It seems cruel, almost.
Yes, it's probably best that you don't consider it too closely.
She frowns for a moment.
Loose lips, all that.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pry, miss. The rest of the procedure goes underway. You're put back under again. You drift off to sleep. You become well rested. You gain +5 to any roll made on the following day. Which, by the way, Johnny, I gave you last session and forgot about, and I modified all your power play rolls accordingly for that after the game.
Cool, thank you. Really.
Okay, let's get rid of that trippy dream sequence that I had for Al. We won't be needing that.
I mean, it would have been fun, but I've got to act in character or what I think she would do, right?
It's all right. I'll just reuse it for someone else.
Yeah. There's what I want to do, and then there's what I think.
Exactly. Silas.
Well, hello.
As the shale crow flies, you are about 500 kilometers away from Hive Desolium. There's no particular reason I chose that particular breed of animal, by the way. Realistically, you can travel about 400 kilometers a day in your wagon. And in 2 days' time, it is 10 days since you left the hive. Your food and water are getting low. You have plenty of fuel. Gladstock did say that if you didn't check in every 10 days, he would send people to check on you. And he made that sound like a threat. He did say you didn't have to go all the way back to the hive, as long as he heard from you via Vox, so they could pinpoint where you were and make sure you weren't telling them porkies. Was the idea of it. So it's up to you. You can stay out here, or you can return to the hive.
I'll go back.
I was going to say, be aware you don't have much food and water. So if you do stay out, you've got to try and find some food and water.
Yeah. Food and water's just. I'm going to go back and get rid of these goods.
Okay, so traveling back.
Probably.
You already know the layout of the terrain that you can see on the map, so we don't have to generate terrain because you're retracing your steps. But what we're going to do some little rolls to see how far you get and in what time. So. And we're just going to generate a few bits and pieces. Where is Silas? There he is. Right. Okay. So first of all, you're driving into the first square. First of all, show me the route you want to take home, I guess. If you want, you don't have to follow a route back that you've already been. You can go into other zones if you want as well. But that just means we have to generate the terrain as we go.
Where am I? Are you located? car.
You're down here.
Here we are. I see. Right, okay, I'm gonna drive back slightly out route. I'll go back the way I won't know because there's bloody gas smokes all the way there. So I'll go back. I'll just put the. I'll go.
If you just want to draw the route for me, and then we'll figure it out from there. Okay. Right, so I want you to make some navigation surface rolls with the following modifiers. So first of all, with a plus 20. Then with a plus 10. Then with plus 20, plus 10 again, sorry.
Wow, good rolls, man.
Then a plus 20 again. Then with just a plus 0. Then a plus 20.
Just a point 0.4 fail.
And then a minus 20.
I've got this. Could get my ATV ties on.
So this doesn't necessarily mean you fail. This is just about the time it takes to get across these. So let me just
I know what you're doing.
fuck about with this a moment.
Like, imagine they falling low.
1, 2, 1. 5. 1.5 minus 1. 1, 0, 2, minus 4. Last one, that's the bastard one. Okay, so yeah, that takes that last little square. You make it to here.
Fall down the canyon.
No, you don't fall down it. Luckily, you really take a long time to get round that. So that's 4.5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 hours you drive all day. And at that point, you are so exhausted, you can't concentrate anymore. Sunlight has gone down. Even though you're only 100 miles from Desolime, you think it's maybe best to, bed down for the night and continue the next day. All right.
That could be worse to bed down for the night. Continue tomorrow.
Okay. Meanwhile, in Port Gaia, in Precinct 686, a young, full of spunk young Arbite is going about his daily business today. Karel, would you like to give me your daily trio of rolls? Awareness, inquiry, and scrutiny, all at plus 0.
No worries. Okay. Awareness. So bear with me.
Mhm.
Been swift fingers. Not.
So this is, for those of you that weren't here the other night on Saturday, this is basically for Johnny's secondary character's power play. It's just an arbitrary trio of roles to for him behaving as an Arbite and things. I keep a tally of things, and when he gets to a certain amount, he finds something that might be of interest to the Inquisition. Okay. And then also, you can spend a couple of hours working out in the shooting range or in the librarium.
He's gonna work out. I think.
Okay. All right. Cool. So that's
While staring at the Imperial Aquila and reaffirming his faith and devotion to the Emperor.
excellent. Meanwhile, back in the mansion, in the basement, in a nest. In a nest of mattresses in the storage room behind the garden, a large gentleman wakes up. I'm going to do it like David Attenborough. Here, in the basement. I don't know why there's so many people on there. But, I don't think everyone will be able to see this, but Slab, it's you.
Was that David Attenborough having a shit?
Yeah, they're in the basement. Right, so Slab, what are you doing today?
I've no idea. Oh, I've got mattresses.
Yep. I put some mattresses in your little sleepy hole.
I shall attend to me plant.
Okay. So
Do some
are you...
weeding.
All right. Let's have a look. So you can tend up to 8 prepared and planted areas. You've got 3 prepared and planted areas at the moment.
I'll plant another one as well.
Okay. So what are you planting?
I don't know.
I gave you a little map of the garden. Where's that gone? Oh, it's in your carrot sheet area, isn't it?
Yeah, it's there somewhere.
Yeah, so you've got an assortment of
Looking
seeds,
for
I
it.
think. Where is it?
Deleted it.
There's a thing called Slab's Garden, isn't there?
Oh, there it is. Under power play objectives.
Ah, right.
Ever want to get
Yes.
buried in Slab's garden?
So here's Slab's Garden. So you're growing veg, and Obscura. So you've actually got 4 plantations.
Try some more Obscura.
Okay.
That's what they want me to grow.
That's what certain people want you to grow. Don't know how useful it'll be. I suppose you could sell it, make money as well. Yeah, so give me a trade agriculture roll. What we got? Oh, it should have been at plus 20. That, sorry. Oh, should it? Yeah. Obscura. Day 33. What we got? So that'll be 2 degrees success. Sweet. Okay, and then you want to... You can tend up to 4 today because you've used half your time planting.
Yep,
So
10
you
the other 4.
10 the other 4, yeah. So give me 4 trade agriculture rolls at plus 20, please.
Took that one.
Okay. Should see some numbers update on Slab's Garden now. That's Slab's Garden tended for the day. I shall put another little number in there for you. Oops. Right. At the end of the working day, as you finish up in your garden. Your stomach giving you the impression it's probably dinner time, with a loud rumble as you close up the garden and start to head towards the dining room. You hear a noise, a thudding, and it's coming from one of the cell doors, and someone's voice yelling, "Hello? Hello, can anyone hear me?" And you recognise the voice as that of Mr. Gladstock, and he is, I'm just going to move you out here into the corridor. It's coming from this cell here. And you were there when he was put away, so you do know it's Gladstock in there as well as being able to recognise the voice.
Mm-hmm. Wait for shit to happen.
Keeps banging, keeps yelling, "Hello? Anyone?"
Hang on a bit. Having Discord issues, hang on. Okay, I shall go and bang on the door.
Just banging.
Banging on the door, then saying,
Hello?
"Oh, Slab! Thank Drusus! I've been down here for days. My comm battery died 2 days ago. No one has brought me anything to eat since I was locked up down here. I can't believe they've all forgotten about me."
Hello?
"Hello, Slab, can you hear me? Look, be a good lad. Go and get me something to eat, would you? There's a storage room just down the corridor, over to your right. It's where my food is kept. I have a special diet, you see."
Anyone there?
"Oh, for fuck's sake. Slab, could you hear me?"
Yeah, I can hear you.
"Oh, fucking hell. Please, Slab, I'm starving. Be a good lad. Grab me something to eat, would you?"
No, you're a prisoner.
"Yeah, but I still have to be fed, and I'm also a voluntary prisoner."
You're a criminal. No.
I mean, most people here are criminals, Slab, in one way or another.
I will get you some pudding.
Right, look, if you... Down the corridor...
before he finishes, I'm walking off.
To your right, he's still talking. There's the second door on your left as you head down the corridor. There's a freezer chamber, and in there you'll find various chunks of meat. And his voice fades away into the distance as you walk away.
I like that, Dave.
Dave shuts that shit down. Shuts it right down.
It's a good plan, an idiot. Missy!
Yeah, this is it.
Are you heading to Mrs.?
Yeah.
Okay. You find her up.
yeah.
Oh no, she's on this floor. What am I talking about? You
Yeah,
find
I'm
Missy.
I'm in a room.
"Oh, hello, Mr. Slab. How are you feeling today? Can I fix you something to eat?"
In a minute. Mr. Simpleton wants some pudding.
"Mr. Simpleton?"
Simpleton Gladcock.
"Ah, I see. Well, as far as I understand it, Slab, Mr. Gladstock, he can't eat normal people food. He has to have special food."
Well, he wants some special pudding then.
"Well, I don't think I have any special pudding, but I tell you what, if you grab
I'm walking out.
all right.
Dave, any chance I can, I don't know, so I want to see Missy as well, any chance I can see Slab, or is it, I don't know what the timing is on
Yeah,
it.
if you want to be in the same place at the same time, why not?
I can just catch up with Slab. Alright, big man.
Hello, Tal.
I've got something for you, big man.
I've seen enough of what you've got, mate.
Yeah, I mean, let's not talk about that ever again. I mean,
It's fine by me.
some things are private. You know, I mean, I didn't want to show you my buttocks. Now,
I stared into the void.
I don't be like that, Slab. They're not that bad. I got this for you, if you want it. I'd like to pull out the Ogren's hammer I took from the arena.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit too big for me, and it's a bit too... I don't know, it's just not for me, right? I've got my weapon sorted. Do you want it?
Yeah.
I'll hand over the Ogren's hammer. What's his name? Crunk's hammer.
Crunk's hammer.
The 2d10 plus 4 and 3. Unbalanced. Yeah, it's no problem. Yeah, not a bother.
Yes, if you want to...
You stay out of trouble.
I always stay out of trouble.
If you want to add Crunk's hammer to your inventory slab, you can also add it as a melee weapon. And it's, what was it, 2d10 plus 3?
2d10 plus 4, pen 3.
2d10 plus 4, pen 3. And it'll be
and unbalanced.
Unbalanced.
What's the damage type?
Impact.
Impact.
Oh, fuck me, I've just said that to the wrong character.
Yeah, that was all I wanted to do with slab, I think.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Comsock or whatever his name is, he wants some pudding.
Oh yeah, oh Gladdy.
He's banging on the door.
Yeah, I'll go sort him out. I need to go that way myself anyway.
Oh,
Canni is aware of Gladstock's special dietary requirement as well.
I'll go back and hammer on his door enthusiastically.
hello!
Is that the door you're hammering on?
Yeah.
You hammer on the door and something monstrous hammers back and you hear this enraged roaring coming through the door.
I'll scratch my head and go and hammer on that door instead.
Nothing responds, but you do notice a dried blood stain on the floor just at your feet, as if something has seeped out from underneath.
Okay.
Hammer on that door.
That's where you awoke. Nothing responds there.
Then fuck it, I'm going back into my kitchen, into my garden.
Just fucking banging on random doors in the mansion.
He's not blessed with smarts.
No. Right, so Canni. So what you said you wanted to, you said come back to you anyway, didn't you? So what else are you up to?
Yeah, I wanted to speak to Missy.
Oh yeah. You may.
What, Missy?
Oh, hello, Canni. How you doing? Oh, bless you. You look like you lost a little weight. Have you not been eating right?
No, it's everything tastes like ashes.
Ooh.
That's part of the reason I'm here. Oh, I brought you this back. Came in handy. I'd hand her back the meat cleaver that she lent me.
All right.
Yeah, it came in real handy. My own meat cleaver got stuck in a door one time, so I used it to kill a cultist, an heretic, just like I said I would.
Oh, lovely. Maybe I should have it sterilized before I use it for any meat.
Yeah, you do that. Yeah, anyway, it was just like I've been getting a bit better at cooking. I wondered if you'd show me how you did that steak again.
Of course.
Just the way I like it.
Anytime. Let me just get some steak together right now. You can join me and Thomas for dinner if you wish.
Sure. I just want to try and pick up a Missy recipe while I'm here.
Okay. Give me a trade cook roll.
I'll add a +10 to this with a fate point.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
You have learnt how to cook Mrs. Special Steak.
Great.
Okay. Anything else you want to do?
No, like I say, that's what I wanted to do here. So.
Okay. So we'll come round to the NPCs then. What do you want Theranos to do today, guys? And Titulos.
Fairness is Hayden, so.
Not anymore, Ian.
That's not my guy.
It's giving him up now. So Titulos no longer benefits from just practicing with his chainsword like he has done for so long. He's got the best he's going to get out of that. But he can fight. He can like train with Ferinus and Titulos can train together to gain things like double team. That's something you have worked on in the past.
Yeah, seems sensible.
Ferinus is a ranged character, though.
Yep.
It might help them in a combat scrape.
It helps in a few ways. If they both get in melee, it helps, and also because they've got this special. They're not psychic, but they've got like a sixth sense for each other. And basically, Ferinus can shoot into combat, and Titulos is aware that it's happening, and he can get out of the way and stuff like that. They've got like a special rule between the two of them. Spring is somewhere doing something. Trantia is with Siegfried for the day. Jarek's doing something. Pench is in his lab most of the day. Les is doing whatever it is that Les does. And Seraph's here somewhere too in the mansion, doing something. Jeeves is also here somewhere, doing something. And Gladstock is in his cell.
Oh shit, I forgot about him.
If you wanted to retcon that and get him something, you can.
Yeah, I'd like to also get myself something. Is it safe to give him food through the door, Dave?
There is like a little hatch that you can open up.
I'll sort him out and I'll get myself something as well.
You're getting something from his reserve.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. While you're feeding Gladstock, he gratefully accepts the meat, and he takes it quite hungrily from you, almost snatches it through the hatch and begins feasting upon this leg, this frozen leg. And you see his eyes darting across to Slab's room at one point as he's eating. And he says, I must say, Canni, I'm somewhat impressed with the big chap.
Oh yeah, how so?
He seems much smarter than what I expected. I tried to trick him earlier into letting me out.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Always thought he was a bit thick.
I think he's smarter than he's letting on. It was a test, you see, but he passed. When you see Vernetta, let her know that her new minion, bodyguard, whatever you want to call him, he's a good lad.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll let her know.
Anything you want to say?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, I'm terribly busy, Gladstock. I'll just leave you to it if you don't mind. I've got places to go and things.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I'll see you later, mate.
Bye.
Hey, you take care.
Thanks for the leg.
When I'm out of earshot, I'd like to comms into Alyssa and say, Alyssa, don't you fucking let Gladstock out under any fucking circumstances.
Language?
Yeah, sorry.
I can't let him out. Only Gladstock.
No, just, I mean...
Only Mr. Mortalis and Miss Vernetta Calamere can open that door.
Oh, good. All right. Just in case, right?
Understood. Wink, wink.
Wink. I'm going to wink.
Did you close the flap?
I mean, let's have a go. Well, who's I did close the flap.
Okay. All right. I'm going to grab a drink and we'll go on to day 34. Back in a minute.
I'm still chilling.
Slab's never been called smart before.
No. Been doing that a bit in the last few games, just rolling random dice to decide how I'm going to act. Just letting fate decide.
Fate always decides.
The Goblin Babe.
Sorry.
Just comes to my head, I'd say it.
What was that?
The Goblin Babe. It's off, it's
Labyrinth.
Labyrinth, that's
Yeah.
it.
One thing
It's probably
Bowie said that was like a low point in his career, but it's like one of the most awesome things he ever did. I think that's what I remember it for.
Yeah.
As a child,
you'll never-
like, I mean,
I'll never forget him like nudging puppets' heads with his piece as he bounces.
Wearing those fucking lycra trousers was the low point in his career.
Labyrinth is amazing. Won't hear a word said against it. So.
It's a great film.
Summer baby.
Show me your glass balls, Bowie.
Bowie, I'm in a maze. It's non-Euclidean and makes no sense. I'm the king of puppets. Canni, I forgot. Sorry, at the beginning of the day, could you make a fear test for me, a willpower test at +0? So this is for the beginning of yesterday. Even though you were up and about, that's why I forgot about it. It should happen when you wake up. Oh, yes. Well done.
Keep passing these.
He does. He's doing really well.
I'm having a good day today.
So, after passing that one, it's day 34. Canni, could you make a fear test, please, at +0?
Possible. Use another fate point. Pass.
Oof. Good stuff. Okay, so day 34. Canni, what are you doing today?
So I've got to take it easy. So first thing I'll do is go and see Pench for my shots.
Okay. And Dr. Pench will give you a little jabby jab.
What I'd like to do, if I can, is use this special meat and try and cook up Mrs. Special Steak a bit.
Okay. You regain another 3 strength and toughness.
Yeah. Feeling right as rain now, Pench. Feeling great.
Yeah. Well, he'll come back. Been looking at them samples, your blood and that, and it's like
Not still on about these chromosomes, Pench.
Yeah, it's almost like your body is like reacted to the damage. Not like what I've noticed as well as having extra chromosomes. Like looking at your blood, only about half of your blood is infected.
Blood.
Like, yeah, the samples I took.
Yeah,
the blood. There's like half the blood cells. Half the blood cells. Yeah, blood. Half of them are infected with viruses, and the other half are clean. It's weird.
Kenny's going to stare off into the middle distance.
So you say you're going to try and make this Missy recipe?
Yeah, I'd like to make a special steak with some special long pork, please.
Oh, bit of long pig, nice. So yeah, give me. It would be a +20 if you're following her recipe, but if you're varying it a bit with a bit of long pig, let's make it a +10. Steak and long pig.
Is there a bonus for the kitchen?
There is, yeah. There's a +10 for the kitchen as well.
Okay, cool.
Oof.
Oh, let's use a fate point on that. Gratuitous use of fate. Yeah. Very good.
Okay, so yeah, you cook it, and it's not terrible, but it's not quite, as good as what Missy made last night. Maybe it's the long pig. Maybe, you need to marinate it or something. Maybe it was a bit tough. Then again, those bits of human have been in the freezer for getting on for 2 months now. Maybe you need fresh human.
This is the best thing I've eaten in since I met the demon, so
That's
everything
true.
else tastes like ashes. So
You do notice as well that
when we get there.
your sense of flavour is coming back a little bit.
cool. Right.
Okay. How would you like to spend Power Play Day 34, Canni?
I don't know. That's a good point. Can you want to go to someone else and have a little think down? I'm not even sure what I'd do in the mansion.
Okay.
I'll
I
have
mean,
a
you
little
can
think.
you can travel back to Ludmilla's den if you want as well. That's another option.
Yeah, no, I want to get my shots and to get back to full stats.
Okay. All right.
Before I go back. So.
Come back to you then. So, Gaius.
Bubble. I'm in trouble. Watching my doctor work out the double.
So, starting shortly after dawn, Magos Grus begins assembling the components of your new head. The skull itself is in 3 separate main pieces. Like the skull is split down the middle, and there is a top half as well, like a lid, and he leaves that off for now, and he begins to install the jaw, the ears, the eyes, the olfactory circuits, various sockets and pipes and cabling. At one point, he plugs the new eyes into your tank, so you can see what they can do, and he walks you through some of the things it can do. He teaches you how to use the catmag filter, showing you how to pick out cracks in a nearby set of flak armor that hangs on a wall, and also the weaknesses of the wall nearby. And you realise this could come in quite useful. For the first few days, you may feel some frustration at your new body not responding as fast as you would like. Do not be alarmed. This is just the last remnants of your psyche's bond to the weakness of flesh. It will pass. By midday, the construction is complete. The flesh sculpture work begins and is soon done. You watch as these 2 young female tech adepts have what you can only describe as like mastic guns, but with sort of like little arms out the end, little tiny fingers, and they build this mesh of synthetic flesh over the torso and arms and legs. They're basically knitting flesh onto it. And this takes a few hours until eventually there is this perfect
flesh knitters.
Yeah, there is this perfect, unblemished human form before you. This exact replica of yourself without head, and of course the obvious lack of tattoos and scars is still visible. And on the table before you, there is this metallic sort of skull with the top part missing, and it leers at you across the table as Magos Grus disappears to go and finish Vernetta's work off. He leaves you staring at your skull. You, Gaius Mortalis. The last...
Has he got a flat action man downstairs?
I'm going to switch to the eyes of a skull staring at me, so I'm looking at the skull's eyes at my own brain.
It's got a pair of moulded blue plastic pants on.
There is a conversation I need to have with Hayden about that, but I'm not gonna do it in the chat with everyone because it'll be funnier.
I missed this. What?
No. Johnny just said, did you have like a bulge or anything downstairs, basically? And it's like, I'm going to talk to you about that in private at some point. Anyway,
This is the conversation we really need.
Okay,
Yes,
let's have this conversation.
Now it's been made bigger and better to specification.
I was going to say it's your choice, but it can either be exactly the same as it was, bigger or smaller, or there can be nothing there. It's entirely up to you. I also had the comedy idea of having it as like some sort of input-output port. It's just like a cable that you can plug into things, but
You can detach things, like you can put weapons on it or something like that. Screw them in or whatever.
Surely it needs to be prehensile with a small digilaser in the tip.
because the thing is, his actual the thing is his actual body is purely is purely machine. Like his bone, his skeletal structure has been replaced by machine. So there's no metallic penis. The only thing that could possibly be there is a synth flesh penis, and it's technically got no musculature or blood or anything like that in it. So it's just like
just
this
flappy appendage.
It would just be this like rubbery tube.
I want one anyway. I want one just in case I have to do some sort of.
It needs to be a fucking little prehensile thing with an eye in the end of it that you can detach and let it crawl around like a big fucking worm and use it for stealth missions and shit.
I mean, that's
Make
an option
awareness
for the
test with your Japs eye.
But
green helmet as well.
let's have a synth penis. But you know the rules. The first time someone appears naked, we need to know the size of the penis. So, Hayden, I would like you please to roll a D8 plus 4.
That's generous.
That is generous.
It's generous. It means on average you're going to have an 8 or 9 inch penis. It is a bit generous.
I love that.
Should be D4 plus 8 pigs.
No. This is the way I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it this particular way because it then gives the bigger chance of having a micro penis.
Yeah.
Have you fate pointed it?
Should stay with it, mate. Never mind. No.
If I remember, so far, the biggest penis we've had at 11 inches was Otto.
Well, it's a ballsy.
Right, so here we
Died
go.
on top.
So here we go. Gaius, as you sit there staring at this shining silver dome of your head, your skull. Let's say, a shining silver skull leers at you across the room, Gaius. Last pure man. That's what she called you, the Inquisitor. Her bulwark, her shield. But your flesh has become impure, corrupted by contact with the Herald. The Herald that knew your name and laughed as its bell tolled, and the filth rolled like waves of pestilence that tainted your blessed flesh. Somewhere in the warp, Col Horgarth the Pestilent laughs. Of this you can be sure. And you remember that beast's last words as Lystug struck it down back on 47 Capella. And the same words were said by the murderer Jock Thaderton, the corrupted slayer of arbiters. And those same words rang in your head as the herald was struck down by Canni, and you fell beside it. See you real soon, Mortalis. Last pure man. No more. You have been fouled.
I'm gonna laugh from a Vox grill.
You have been fouled.
I'm just gonna
Gaius.
laugh from a Vox grill, like slightly insanely to represent.
Okay.
I've been fouled.
You have been
No
fouled,
more.
or at
Cut the bits
least
away.
your flesh has been fouled. But what of the mind? What is a man? Is he the flesh and blood of his body? Or is he the culmination of the experience of his life, a mind that is shaped by environment? If that is true, then what now is Gaius? Is he still a man, albeit in a vehicle of steel rather than flesh and bone? And if that is true, then is he still pure?
I'm a brain in a box.
The cult Mechanicus might say so. They might, in their cold, calculating, very accurate way, say that he is 97.23% pure now. It is the flesh, the soft grey matter in the tank of amber fluid, that is the last impurity of Gaius Mortalis. But does it matter what the Mechanicus thinks? Does it matter what Gaius thinks? Or you? Or I? Nay, I say. All that matters is one's actions. And that one dedicates their life to the glory of the eternal God Emperor on holy terror, blessed be his name. The Omnisire has provided upon Gaius a mighty gift. The flesh is weak. Behold strength. Behold purity. Behold Gaius Mortalis, first pure machine of Desulium. Gaius, while you're sitting and seething in your tank today, is there anything else you'd like to do?
Leaving. I'm plotting. Oh yes.
Plotting. Okay.
Yeah, plotting. Also, I've been counting how many instruments the Doctor's been using just recently. I've been making a mental tally and notes.
He's
also
singing.
been watching what has been. Yeah. I've also been watching, like, trying to learn as much as I can, mechanically wise, about what he's been doing with me. Trying to memorise it.
Give me
That's what I've. This is for the whole time with us. That's basically what I want to do.
Okay.
Learn.
Give me an observation, an awareness test, site-based, please.
Okay. Thanks, love. See you later. Bye. I was looking for the awareness in the main section. I don't get a +10 for my iron anymore.
No, not at the moment you don't. Okay.
Well, fuck all. Oh, I've got another fate point. I'm going to use that.
There we go. Okay.
You're reading the instruction manual
That's it.
for his new body.
Bet to do. Can't close my eyes.
Go to the optional attachments section at the end. It'll tell you what you can have.
Gaius has literally been like this for a week. There's nothing he can do.
Desperately
It'll be worth it.
requiring. We're getting sanity points from this day because I'm sure I'm like mentally I'm going to be sleep deprived.
At the end of it all, there's going to be some rolls to make. Yeah.
Yeah.
Siegfried.
Yeah, it's quite a traumatic experience, really. You know, being a brain in a jar. I'd imagine. A bit strange.
There's going to be some rolls. There's also going to be some options about self-medication, but we'll worry about that later. Siegfried, power play day 34. My Lord Reigns. Plex Thesserax contacts you over the Vox. May I speak with you in your chamber? It regards the information you acquired 2 days ago.
Yes.
So this is the information you got from your operation that you did last time.
Mm-hmm.
Plex's chamber is a jumble of bizarre pieces of technology, rat corpses, rat bones, rat skins, and small mechanical rats. The rats, the boys as they're known, and Jerry Mark II peer at you curiously through the cages that they sit in as Plex speaks to you. And he says, "The information you acquired was heavily encrypted, my lord. But I've begun to pick up the people." Sorry about that. You were right. Lady Esmeda Eldon, Lady Pagnis' third cousin, twice removed, is indeed up to something. The files you obtained contain correspondence between Lady Esmeda and a third party known as Milton Applegate. I believe this to be a false name. It appears that Lady Esmeda has been for some months travelling to a location in the Mid-Hive every few days to meet with this Milton Applegate. This in itself is not much to go on, but it presents us with an opportunity, my lord. Nobles sneaking about in the Mid-Hive in the dead of night are rarely doing so to attend a temple. Illicit chems, trading in forbidden materials, extramarital affairs, the list goes on. Whatever she is doing, I calculate a 93.31% chance that it is illegal, and a 50% chance that it is heresy, and a 100% chance that we could use whatever it is to our advantage in some way, or use a vulnerability in some way to remove her from play. I have acquired the time of her next meeting. It takes place tomorrow at midnight. She travels via ground... No, it doesn't. It takes place tonight at midnight. She travels via ground car to Substack 334 Gamma 12. The roadways are busy around that region throughout the day and night cycles. Surveillance coverage is heavy. Interception may not be probable. I believe our best chance to gain access to Lady Esmeda is when she is in the Mid-Hive Hab block. She will be vulnerable. She travels with simply a small security team, 2 men. I have identified them as former soldiers of the Decilium Involute. As such, they will be skilled and well equipped. With your permission, my lord, I will begin assessing the location to prepare a tactical plan to gain access to Lady Esmeda while she is within the Hab block. The choice of how to proceed and what to do on acquiring her ladyship will, as always, be down to you. Blackmail, extortion, exposure of her activities are all options should she indeed be found to be doing something nefarious. But as always, my lord, there is another option. The hive mind. The hive mind? The mid-hive is a dangerous place, my Lord Rains. It would be a shame if something were to happen to Lady Esmeda while she was on her clandestine trip down hive.
A terrible shame indeed.
What a pity.
A terrible shame. Such a pity. Well, we can make it happen. We can we'll join this lady tonight for some clandestine activity, shall we say? Make it happen.
I shall begin making the preparations, my lord. Siegfried has activated his third power play mission. As such, he will be able to take certain people with him. Siegfried only has 2 follower slots at the moment, but only 2 followers. And one of those is Serena, the other one is Plex Thesserax. However, Plex, of course, serves another function in that he has Jerry and the boys. We'll worry about that later. We'll probably pick that up next session. But you can also additionally take Trantia with you if you want. If you take her instead of one of those 2, then nothing really happens. She just swaps in. If you take her in addition to those 2, there is... Because you're basically breaking the game rules of only taking 2 followers, you'll be taking 3. There is a slight alteration to the game in that one of those characters doesn't gain any XP from it. But if you do take Trantia, it means that Alan, Dave, and Hayden all have a character to play themselves when we do this mission.
Let's do that then.
And you also get to choose who doesn't get the XP out of those 3.
I'll probably choose. I'd probably choose Plex because if he's setting up.
Fuck you, Johnny. Bellend.
Plex, by the way.
How am I going to get better rats, Johnny?
Plex generally as well isn't like boots on the ground. It's usually Jerry and the boys that are boots on the ground. But
exactly. Yeah.
So we'll come back to this.
Pay for this, Johnny.
To represent the fact that the Jerry and the boys were somewhat sort of destroyed in previous.
Yeah, but they just come back. They just come back over and over again.
Yeah.
So
that's it. Which is like the Hydra.
Yeah.
The Rat Hydra. That's cool. Yeah, we'll do it that way this time, I think. But yeah, so we've all got a character to play. That sounds good. So.
Okay, cool. Canni, was there anything else you wanted to do before I move on with the rest of Siegfried's day? Before I forget.
I'm not sure if it's a thing or not. Can you work to train on a stat? Because I've got one stat that's kind of 1 point away that makes a big difference for long-term character development.
Start whipping your back.
Yeah, tell me what you want to try and do.
Yeah. It's weapons guard improve. I'll go down to the training ground. If there's Theranos and Titulos down there, I'll train with those guys.
Let's do it, guys.
Yeah, sure. Are you spending all day doing that, or are you doing anything else?
Yeah, that'll be my day.
Okay, cool. All right. So, Siegfried, that's going to be tonight. Plex is preparing all the information. You've still got the day to do power play as you wish. It's entirely up to you what you do with the rest of today.
I think I'll probably just do some more low risk with Trantia.
Okay.
As well.
Oh, by the way, that one yesterday, you didn't get 3 degrees of success. You got 4 because Trantia was with you as well. So again today, give me a fellowship test with a +10 for peer nobility and also a +10 for Trantia that I forgot about last time, and +5 for your reputation. So +25.
+25. He's cutting quite a figure in society. Let's see if I get a good roll. Okay. Did it come up on the screen? +25, yeah.
In fact, you know what? This could change everything. Yeah, see what you get.
Okay. Ooh. Can I use a fate point on that one?
Sure.
Because it might be useful to do.
It certainly could. It could change your options for this mission.
Yeah. Do that again. Okay. I need to get my mouse hooked up to this. So I'm just doing it with my the flat pad thing.
Fucking noob.
I know, such a noob.
There we go.
I'm good.
3 degrees success. So let me put that in. So that would be a total of 4 bonus. Right. So now I need to calculate some faction wealth. You spent a load of faction wealth as well. That's worth remembering. Your reputation with the nobility of Decilium has now gone up to 33, which puts you into the next bracket, which opens a new follower slot for you, which means you can now take 3 followers. So you can still take Trantia in that slot if you want, or we can potentially, I'll have to work out how much faction wealth you've got, but you might be able to purchase a new follower, a rank 1 follower.
That'd be cool.
So if you do purchase a rank 1 follower, because Hayden was playing Serena, Al was playing Plex, so that's a follower for Dave to control. In that case, it's up to you, Johnny, as you're the controlling character. You can either create that character, or you can give Dave the responsibility of creating the character.
I will give Dave the responsibility of creating that character.
Okay, so Dave, you get to create a character for Johnny's power play game.
Comes the transsexual hairdresser.
So, just to put you in mind of what Johnny's already got, he's got Serena, who is this young... she's like a handmaid. She's supposed to be Trantia's handmaiden, but she's actually a psychic assassin trained in the Scholar Progenium.
That's me.
And that's Hayden. And then there's Plex Tesseract, who is this slightly fucking weird tech priest who has this obsession with mechanical rats that he puts living flesh over, and he uses them as surveillance drones. And one of them, Jerry, has a built-in bolt pistol, which is fucking fantastic. And it's Johnny's missions are a lot of fun. They're a little bit chaotic, but they're a lot of fun. So you can come up with anything you want as long as it's within the realms of the rules of the game. I'll talk to you at some point about it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to talk to Johnny about it as well, feel free. But
I mean, if you were to take a female character though, it'd be like Charlie's Angels almost. You know what I mean? Because we'd have Trantia, we'd have
Serena, and another one.
Serena, and then another one. So that'd be called
Siegfried's Angels. Siegfried's Angles.
Yeah, Siegfried's Angles.
Okay, so I'll make a quick note of that. Right, we'll have that sorted for next time. The idea of it as well is that this character, whoever it is actually one of Lady Pagnis' staff. And she's basically saying, I think this person would be a good addition to your team because she's, or he has got whatever skill set. So we'll come up with something. We'll figure that out. And that's Siegfried's day 34. Then on to Hannibal. What's Hannibal doing?
To be honest, I've forgotten what he can do.
So he was doing his searching for the Beast House stuff, wasn't he?
Yeah, he'll have to carry on doing that because he ain't found shit at the moment.
Okay. Or you can hang around and do stuff in the mansion. You can train a skill. You can study in the library if there's anything you want to know about. There's all sorts of stuff you can do, really. It's up to you.
Nah, we'll try and find more info on the Beast House.
Okay, so at this point, let me just check the thing. Yeah, you haven't found much at all. So you've been doing nothing but low risk so far.
Yep.
What you can at the moment, you've only got low or high risk you can choose from.
I'm going to do a high risk one.
Ooh, okay. Right, let me just find the right page.
Why not?
Okay, so high risk for you is working with the Beast House. So this is working what contacts you have, which is still quite few, but it's a bit of an abstraction. So to start with, you need to choose a conduct skill. So you can choose from tracking, shadowing, acrobatics, or dodge. So this is a case of basically following people around that you suspect might be involved and stuff like that.
Yep, hang on a sec.
You do. I think you get a bonus for this as well. No, you don't get a bonus with this one, sorry. Oh, yes, you do. What am I on about? Power group reputation. So you get a plus 10.
You're making it up.
No, I'm reading the wrong fucking line. That's what I'm doing.
What are the options?
Tracking, shadowing, acrobatics, or dodge with a plus 10.
I'll go for the dodge because that's my highest at the moment.
Okay. Also, there is a bit of a diminishing returns thing with this if you do the same one each time. Okay. Cool. Hannibal, day 34, high risk. Okay, 3 for that. And then also, there's like a knowledge gathering style. So there's concealment, which is listening into conversations, inquiry, which is asking carefully phrased questions, awareness, which is watching the comings and goings, probably of like Izanami's people, or silent move, which is where you're sneaking about after them. So one of those 4, and you get a plus 15 to this because of your reputation with
plus 15.
Yeah, with Mr. Crimson. Okay, 3 degrees. Okay, cool. That's 4. Okay, so you're off the marks at last. You've got your first 4 points of knowledge of the Beast House. So you've started to hear some like vague mentions of certain people in Mrs. Izanami's organisation who, they're a little bit too loose-lipped maybe, and you manage to stay sneaking about, following them about all day, and you start to think, these are the sort of people you need to be watching now. So the last few days of getting nowhere have started to pay off.
Right.
Okay, so that's Hannibal done. Vernetta. Day 9 of your augmentation process. And you awaken. The Magos stands nearby, along with the pleasant woman that you spoke to before. Welcome back, Miss Calamere, she says with a smile. Your procedure is complete. How do you feel?
I don't know, how do I feel then?
Make a toughness test.
Toughness, eh? Did I get my toughness back?
Yep, you've got all the stuff you lost back. And then some.
Should I be on 32 toughness then, or more? At the minute I'm on 22.
Yeah, 32 you were originally.
Okay. To be honest, I'm feeling a little weak. Not quite firing on all cylinders.
Don't you worry, that'll pass with time. You're going to have to get something to eat first. You haven't eaten solid food for quite some time, of course. The Magos suggests you should maybe take it easy for the next few days, just to make sure that everything's bedded in and functional. And of course, should you experience any issues, you come straight back now.
Okay, I think I need to talk with my companions. Yes, I've been out of it far too long.
Well, sure, you're free to go, just, don't do anything too strenuous. Miss Calamere, begins the Magos. Tomorrow I finalize the installation of Mr. Mortalis into his vehicle. I was wondering if you would care to assist me.
Yes, of course. I wouldn't be anywhere else.
Mr. Mortalis has also summoned this surgeon, Dr. Pench, is it?
Yes, he's the very best.
So I hear. His presence would aid me greatly. I cannot wait to meet him. Okay, so Vernetta, you still got half a day or so to do with as you please.
So what I wanted to do was to try and talk to Gaius, Trantia, and Siegfried.
Okay.
I want to go and see them, bring them together and talk to them.
Yeah, so at some point in the evening, you could probably do that before the mission starts and stuff like that. So yeah, at some point in the day, this can happen.
There's not much I can do outside of the workshop, I don't feel.
I mean, you can go back to the workshop if you want.
Yeah, I just can walk through a door, can't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll spend half a day. What was I working on? I was working on a macadendrite.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just plug another half day into that.
Okay. In that case, let's have a look. Let's. Where's the macadendrite? Vernetta's crafting. Creating an unspecified macadendrite. So, you're still in the design phase of this. Give me a trade armorer -20 roll.
Okay, pass. 1 degree.
Okay, so because that's a half day, it's supposed to be shifts. That'll be like half a degree of success.
Okay.
Which still all add up. All right, so then, yeah, at some point in the evening, if you wanted to gather the others, you can.
Yeah, I just need to go for a wee first. So
yeah, well, I'll come back round to you then when we get to the end of the day. All right, Silas.
Silas.
Let's put you back on your little map.
I'll just get on with it, yeah. I'll navigate the surface. I'll do another square, yeah.
Yep, so there's 2 more.
Really like my new work from the event. Looks it's really.
The first one's the first navigate surface roll is +30. The second one is also +30. Okay, yeah, you've pissed that. So you cover those last 100 miles in like fucking hardly any time, 100 kilometers, sorry, in hardly any time at all, and you get back into Hive Desilium, and within 3 hours of setting off, you've made it back to the elevator which leads down to the carnival, and you can get back to the mansion, which gives you pretty much a full day in the mansion if you want it.
Right, first off, when I get to the mansion, I'm going to tramp in madly to the place, thinking, well, you know, because I'm Silas. Just like, oh, fucking hell, I've been out the waste working all this time, and people have swanning off in a nice, posh, fancy place like this. Sure, there must be some treasure to be had in here. Anyway, I see Gladstock, nearest person.
Okay.
That was Silas's little monologue. He doesn't say it out loud.
Okay, so you asking the first person you see about where Gladstock is? Is that what
yeah, I've got some stuff to do for him, yeah.
Right.
Tell my Xenotech would drop back with me.
There's you encounter a woman in the foyer shortly after entering the mansion. This woman that you've not encountered before, Silas. She's quite tall, slender, shock of auburn hair, very pale face. She's wearing a black body glove with like red trim, and she has a pair of swords on her back. And she appears out of nowhere, and she just seems to be watching you for a moment. And she says, "You must be Mr. Cassidy."
That'd be right. I don't think I've had the pleasure of taking your name.
You have not? No. You can call me Seraph.
Nice to meet you, Seraph. I've got some xenotech to show old Gladstock downstairs.
Yes, he's
He told me to report in every 10 days of what it's like.
right.
Yeah.
Well, this way, I suppose. Come with me.
Oh, thank you very much.
Um,
I'll
she-
follow.
She leads you down to the basement, and along a corridor to what looks like a number of heavily armoured doors set into one wall. And she stops before one of them and pulls back a little slot. And then she steps back out of view of the slot. And you're only little, aren't you? You're probably at the right height to see through the slot without bending down. And you can see...
Yeah, I am. I'm only 5'2", I think.
Yeah, you can see inside there is Mr. Gladstock, and he's just dressed in a simple shirt and trousers, and he's got a small wooden chair, and he's just sitting there reading a book. And he peers round at you as the slot opens and says, "Ah, Mr. Cassidy, right on time. I'm so very glad I haven't sent someone out to have to retrieve you. Do you have anything for me?"
Well, I think I've got a couple of interesting items which catch your eye. And I'll hold them up so you can see them.
Okay.
You know, first the strange shaped thing which I can't get purchase on.
Okay.
And the second one, I'll show them the alien artifact I can get working. Is it a weapon?
Yeah, one of them's a pistol, and one of them's a strange item that you've no idea what it is, that has like these sort of crystal, sort of bluish crystal pieces that seem to be part of the housing, like stuck in it at regular intervals around the outside, and you had no idea what that was. He has a look.
Yeah, I say I've found these.
He reaches out through the slot in the cell door, and he takes the pistol from you. And as it enters in his hand, you see a green glow come from it, and it sort of expands and changes shape and goes from being, you know, like almost like a Derringer-sized pistol to being quite a large, bulky weapon. And you hear this hum of power begin to build up, and he says, "Excellent. This is just what I was looking for." And then he hands it back to you. And it
Alright, and
reduces back to its original size. He takes the other device, says, "Now this is interesting." He puts it back in your hand. And he says, "Do you have a credit wafer upon you?"
I do, sir. I always keep a crab wafer upon my person. Organised I am. And I'll pick out my wallet. Inside I'll open my robes, which are all immaculate, green on the inside. And I'll take out my wallet with everything in place on the inside. And pass you my perfectly conditioned credit note card.
Okay. He takes the wafer. It's like a little holographic chip, basically. He takes that from you. He reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a device.
Being a perfect container for its size, tell me.
Okay. He puts the chip into a device, presses a few buttons, then hands you it back. And he reaches out through the slot with his hand. You get the impression that his arms maybe shouldn't have fit through that slot. And he points to the west corridor and says, "Head down there to the far end, just before the bend in the corridor. You'll see a door marked Armory. You will find a man there named Les. Give him those items. Tell him I sent you. Tell him your name. I have transferred you some funds." And then he takes his arm back inside and says, "Good work, Mr. Cassidy. Keep it up." Seraph, meanwhile, the whole time this is happening, Seraph has got her back to the wall just to one side of the door, and she's got one of her swords in her hand.
Well, thank you kindly, sir. Don't see fruits of my labor with who's this man called in the army? Or person or
his name's Les.
thing?
Les McCrone.
Les McCrone. Okay, thank you then. Thank you kindly. I'll be on my way.
Okay. He steps back.
Is it still 10 days? Still 10 days to report back in?
The arrangement stands.
All right, sir. I'll take my leave.
Okay. He steps back from the door.
Go to see Les.
Do you close the flap?
I do.
Okay.
That is the correct answer.
All right, so you head down the corridor. Saraf
Yeah, you muted,
helps you
Johnny.
find it. Oh yeah, Johnny's muted.
Johnny, you muted. Yeah, he's muted himself. What'd you say, mate?
I've ended up at Fat Les's place.
Still muted.
I'll say let him out. What could possibly go wrong? Yeah,
Just an agent of chaos, Johnny.
Just for lols. Yeah, be excited. See what happens. See what he could do. I'm surprised he didn't use that weapon.
You just enjoy watching things bird while they run around the field.
I do. I really do.
Honestly, if Canni had failed his intelligence test, I would have left that flap wide open. I promise you.
So you find the armory. It's clearly marked armory, and you see there is a heavily armored door and a window with kind of like a mesh screen. And Saraf guides you to it and says, "There you go." She speaks as well with a Decilium accent when she speaks with you. She says, "There you go, Mr. Cassidy. Les is in there. Just give him a shout. He'll be along in a minute." And then she again steps back out of sight around the corner.
Yeah, we see you later. I'll say to the shadows, which I'm left with. And then I'll look on the door and go, Les McCrone.
After a few moments, this big, fat, waddling man with a shirt stained with God knows what comes around the corner. He has one gigantic claw-like arm, and the other one is a very high-quality cybernetic arm. He goes, "Now then, no, fucking hell, look at you! Oh, thought you were a little boy for a minute. I thought, well, that's not good. Shouldn't let children in a place like this. Who are you then?"
Silas is just a little bit on guard at the moment with the little boy coming. Well, I've been no little boy. Come on, Gladstock sent me over.
Well, Dave,
just on that point, Dave, has he actually rolled the dice to see if he is or he isn't?
What, little boy?
The D8.
We haven't got that far. Silas has not yet been used. So...
It's try to establish if Les was making an accurate statement or not. That's all.
Oh, we'll find out one day, I'm sure.
It's the slab as.
There is someone we should have
Just
rolled
a wee
for.
man.
Anyway, he says, "So Gladstock sent he, did he? I ain't seen him for a few days. What's he sent you along here for? You new, are you? You new here, eh? Hey, do you want a book?"
Beg your pardon, sir.
Do you want a book? All right, books. Do you want one?
Oh, I thought he said something else. I thought he said it was with an F instead of a B.
No.
I beg your pardon, sir.
Not in the children, sir.
Oh yes, I'll be gladly, kindly accept your invitation.
Cool. What's your name? I'm Les.
Silas, man.
Nice to meet you, Silas.
I'll say. Nice to meet you too. I want to shake your hand. I got to think about cleanliness.
No need to touch. It's not physical, but you got a data slate.
Oh, I have, and I've got some chips here. My credit voucher. That's not updated for me. Let's go to the armory. And I've got some items delivered to you too. I'm Gladys. What I found out in the wastes.
Ah, right, yeah. I get it now. Gladys said there might be a little fella coming along with some weird fucking tech. Yeah, give me here. Let's have a look. Ooh, lovely. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, that's fancy, isn't it? Ooh. He takes the items off you. He gives you a stack of actual throne gelt coins, 400 thrones to be precise. And he says, have you got a data slate?
I do, sir. I do.
Hold it up to the window.
I'll pull back my trench coat again. Pull out a designated pocket for my data slate. Slip it out of that. And it's the most cleanest data slate you've ever seen in your life.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah.
He holds his own data slate up to the window. And he transfers wirelessly some data to you. And he says, there you go. That's my latest work. It's called 50 Shades of Les.
Well, I'll be sure to give it a browse while I'm out in the wastes. My lonely nights.
Well, yeah, it's perfect for those sorts of times, sir, if you catch my meaning.
I don't, sir. What is your meaning?
Masturbation, sir. I'm speaking of wanking.
Sir, I've only just met you, you know? You can't go saying that sort of thing to a man you just met. I'm not that comfortable with you. How the hell do you do it anyway? Is it that fine hand, or do you use a claw for a roughened effect?
Well, truth be told...
Anyway, I'm not comfortable talking about that to you, sir, but you know what I'm saying.
He holds up a stick that's got like a metal ring on it, padded with fabric. And he just stands there holding that, and then he goes, "Oh, all right," then, and puts it back down again. Says, so,
anyway, let me in your army. I want to have a browse.
I'm afraid afraid I don't have authorization to let you in.
Do you not, Les? Do you not?
There's been a bit of a change of management in it. Yeah, you know, used to be open door policy, but no, I've been told I'm not allowed to let people come in willy-nilly and take what they want anymore because somebody apparently has been stealing from the armory when my back is turned.
Oh well, that after you've worked hard to accumulate all your goods like I do, I would not appreciate a thief from my van.
Exactly, you understand. What I can do is I can show you a catalogue.
A catalogue, sir.
That's the one, a catalogue. I can show you one of those.
So you're well versed in High Gothic.
Yeah, I speak everything, me. I'm smart, you know. I've got all the languages and words and that.
Under his breath, he'll say it's Low Gothic. Fool. Which is particularly distinguishable for you to wear.
So there you go. The armory is open to Silas. It's open to everyone, the armory, but it's no longer an open door policy. I wonder why. I wonder what's happened with the armory.
Right, okay, I'll deal with that when everybody's not on it. I'll have a look.
Okay.
And sort you out. That in my own time won't be nothing now until we're in a fight situation, so
okay.
Sort that later.
Alright.
Carry on for someone else if you want.
Yeah,
before you move on, let's say, Dave, can Vernetta be aware that Silas has come back to the mansion? I won't mind talking to him.
Yes, I think I recall you saying Alyssa was to alert you when Silas came back, or anyone else for that matter.
I recall that. I recall that very well.
Vernetta.
Fair enough. Yeah, I was just.
Vernetta, Silas is in the mansion.
Like something like 4 rolls tonight.
That's right.
Could I comms into Silas and ask him to come to the workshop?
Done that.
Silas, would you be a dear and come to the workshop? I wanted something to discuss with you.
Who's this again?
Oh, do I know him?
You've met. You've definitely met.
Yeah. I'm Vernetta. I suppose I'm in charge.
Yeah, I do recall your name. Oh yeah, Yes. Where's the workshop, darling? I've got no idea.
I'll send Jeeves to come and get you. Where are you?
I'm at Les's armory at the door.
I'll comms into Jeeves to go and get Silas and escort him to the workshop.
Okay, Jeeves happily comes and gathers Silas up. Leads you. You're not far from Vernetta's workshop where you are at the moment either. It's only just round the corner.
Hello. I've been having some thoughts, Silas, about your little jaunts out into the waste and how we can just pimp your ride. Basically, that's what I've been thinking.
Jaunts, you say?
It's a nice bit of kit.
Anything to pimp.
Well, never mind that. It's just I'm just thinking of ways we can improve it, and
I don't want to make it inefficient in any way.
No.
Nobody wants to give the truck up, do they?
No. But I've got this this Auspex skull that I thought might be quite helpful.
Oh well.
You do know what an Auspex is.
Do out there? Yeah, I do. I can fix them if you've got a broken one. I've got a bit of tech savvy.
I think this one is functional.
It is.
Yeah, I just think we need to link it somehow to your own scanning systems. It would give you some extra range on your scans, and it might help with that.
I think that
aspect of your.
Would you be willing to work on that with me? I'm a bit sensitive to people getting into my truck. I've maintained and made it run functional. Not many people get to ride in front cab. So, if you think you can do it, I'll let see out Bessie.
Oh, Bessie, that's a beautiful name. Dave, what would be involved with linking the skull, or basically giving the skull over to Silas to stick on his van?
So it's a fairly simple procedure to connect an already working mechanism to the outside of a truck, or it depends if you wanted to have it attached to it, or if you want it to just be with the truck. You could, slaving it would be pretty easy, and Hayden could use it to either enhance the awareness of his truck, or he could use it to follow him around as a personal servo skull.
Yeah, well, we'll try and slave it then if it's a quick and easy one.
Yeah.
If it needs to be, I'll not work on the mechadendrite and do this instead.
It'd be an easy, simple task this to do. It wouldn't take very long. You wouldn't even have to roll for it. You could just go out to his truck and work on it together. It wouldn't take very long at all.
Okay.
Miss Vernetta, while we're working here together, I'd like to ask you a question.
Sure.
Who the hell restocked me with food and drink and a little bit of ale too? I'd like to take me out my supplies if we're going to be coming back here a lot. I reckon company policy should say, you get free food every day staying here. I need free food to take out there. I like staying here, but I have to cook my own.
Yes, of course, I'm sure we can provide food. You can't be expected to do that all yourself, right? And I think we're alright for supplies, so...
Fairness has just been shopping.
Yeah. I shall give you authorization to get supplies from Missy, food and water.
Okay. Is there anything you need, require of me else?
Well, I'm always interested in if you come across any interesting tech that.
I have 2 recent items. I've just passed to that Les Macron.
Ah, okay.
Do you want me to come see you first and?
Yes, please.
Please.
See me before Les.
Okay then.
Do you want my advice?
I think we could.
You should steer clear of Les. You should steer clear of Les. I'll get you into bad ways.
Do you think I should just straight up delete what is put into my data slate?
Yeah.
I even felt like his paw was dirty.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, that's
Some
man
things
with a dirty pot.
Things you can never unsee.
Yeah, he never defrags his server.
No.
Right, okay, I'll take your advice on board.
Okay.
Yeah. Can I do one, or does anybody else want to talk to me for the day?
Was there anything else you need? I don't know, access to the armory or something?
It doesn't, to be honest, is what he's got and where he is at the moment, unless I was going to come out into combat with you lot, I could maybe take some armour before I go, but I'm going to sort that out with Dave in a list while we're not all waiting for me to just...
Yeah, you've got access to the armory. You can take stuff out of the armory. You just physically can't access the armory. Les has to pass you stuff.
Yeah,
Cool.
As I say, I'll just look at that at my own time and write a list up to what I can have, so... Yeah.
Yeah, I've done what I wanted to do. I just wanted to give you the Auspex skull.
Okay.
Spot on. And thank you very much, Miss Calamere, was it?
Yes. Hmm?
Miss Calamere.
Nod.
Oh, well. See you later.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to achieve today, Silas? While you're in the mansion, there is a workshop here that's been set aside for you that you know of as well.
I think Silas is just going to have a proper rest and recoup day. He's going to chill out, spar it up, sit in the lounge and drink a bit of whiskey and sit near the fire in a dressing gown, just a dressing gown later. Don't matter if anybody's there, he's just going to sit next to whatever he can make of his, nearest. Is there fire in the dining room?
There's fire in many of the rooms, yeah.
Yeah, well, I was going to sit next to one of the fires and chill out with a little glass of whiskey and a bottle, with his guns still strapped to him, of course.
Okie dokie.
Right. Well, that's what he's going to do for the day after relaxing. Get fully rested up before he goes out again.
Okie dokie.
Whereas over a weekend.
Rightio. Okay, so back in Port Gaia, precinct 686. Carell, what are you doing? Are you doing your usual awareness, inquiry, and scrutiny rolls, please?
No problem. I'll do that. Bear with. Okay. Just bear with me. We're all trying to come back up. Dave, would you be able to roll those for me just while I'm waiting for this to come up?
Sure.
So I have to restart.
Oh, I've done it on the wrong fucking character. Retard. Not much better. Okay. And how is he spending his free time? Working out, shooting, or library?
He's going to do shooting today.
Okay.
It's Wednesday.
Actually, I think it's Friday. It's Thursday or Friday, definitely. I can't remember which. So that's Carell done. Slab! What are you doing, Slab?
He ain't got to tend to his plants every day, has he? I'm not going to fucking wither up and die if you don't look at them for a day.
No. I'll let you know, because you sleep next to him. I'll let you know if you walk out and think, oh, fuck. They look like they could do with some TLC.
They're a bit wilty.
Yeah.
What's that room?
Which room's that? There is. Can Slab read?
No idea.
Has he got literacy?
It's perfect.
Unlikely.
No. So there is a sign on the door with written very crudely that you can't read. The door's not locked. When you go inside, there is a few boxes, empty wooden boxes scattered about the place, and there is a whiteboard projector and a whiteboard and a projector rigged up in there, and nothing else. And also on the back wall behind the whiteboard, there is writing, very crude writing in green paint, but you can't read it.
Okay. He's going to go to the arena again and pick another fight.
Okay, the arena is only open during the evening. During the day, the carnival's not open.
Well, you do that this evening then. Are there any empty rooms or rooms that aren't being used by anything?
Yes, there are a few. So on this floor, there's a few storage rooms that literally, like I'll show you them. I think you can maybe see them anyway. Like rooms. Oh no, that's the armory. Rooms like this one here. There's just racks and racks, but there's nothing in the racks. There's one there and there's one there as well. On this floor, you could move the racks out of the way if you wanted to claim a room for something. There are rooms on other floors as well that aren't in use. Depends where you want it to be.
What about this one here?
That is a workshop. That's the workshop that's been set aside for Silas, if he ever wants to use it.
That one?
That's the cold storage.
That one?
That is another workshop that often you'll find Ted working in.
Right.
There's also these smaller rooms here. They're like arming chambers. There's there's racks for armor and weapons, but they're empty. There's no weapons or armor in them. There's just the rack mounts there for them.
He's going to push all the racks in this room over to the side and start setting up a rudimentary gym.
Okay.
Sort of steel drums full of bloody rocks and shit with a big metal rod between them for dumbbells and stuff like that.
The thing that you could find like rocks and barrels and stuff in the lower hive and probably around the carnival. So if you want, give me a perception check and give me a search check. We'll do this as part of the progress of building this gym until it's functional.
Perception and search.
Yeah.
Doesn't have search.
I was going to say you should have it as a basic skill, I think. Fucking hell. Yeah, so as the day goes on, you gather various bits of equipment that you think you could turn into a gym. It probably takes you best part of a day to gather it all and get it into this room, but that's something you can do in the future is like start to fasten things together and create rudimentary weights and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Okay. Anything else?
You use some of the shelves and shit for making chin-up bars and crap like that.
Yep.
That's his little hobby at the moment.
Okie dokie. Ferinus and Titulos.
Double team.
Okay.
Just to make it quick. Anybody any objections?
No.
Double team.
Okay. At some point in the early evening, at some point in the late afternoon, everyone regardless of where you are, mansion or Spire Pagni, you hear. Hello, oi oi, cunts! Listen here. Any of you fuckers not busy tonight want to do some crime? You come and meet in Spring's secret crime club when the big hand and the little hand are at opposite ends. Don't tell anyone. She's broadcast that to everyone.
Silas hear it.
Yep. Everyone in the mansion hears it.
I like it.
Okay. Right, let's see.
Trantia is with Springfield. What? Jarek, Pench, Lares are doing their thing.
Dusty.
Okay, and then it comes to the evening. So, what's going to happen here is there's going to be 2 potential missions. You don't have to take everyone on a mission. It's a case of if you want to go on the mission, go on the mission. If you don't want to go on the mission, don't go on the mission. And you can decide amongst yourselves who goes on which mission. Springfield, I nearly said it again. Siegfried. I haven't even had a beer. What's going on? Siegfried gets to choose who goes on his mission, obviously. That's one of them. And
Dave,
the other one is...
It's Thursday night, not Saturday night.
Yeah. The other mission is going to be Spring's Crime Club mission, which is an entirely optional mission for anyone who wants to go on it or not. It will be fucking retarded. I'll tell you that much now. Basically, you can go along to the brief and then decide if you want to be a part of it or not.
Yeah, I mean, Canni's definitely going to go.
Okay.
On crime.
So I'm going to assume basically that everyone except Siegfried and Trantia goes to the crime brief because those 2 are going to be going off maybe on this other mission.
And me.
On Vernetta,
I won't be there.
On Gaius won't be there. So everyone that potentially could be there, I'm going to assume they're there, and then you can pick who goes on it. So I'm going to, as usual, I'm going to skim over all this a bit. I'm going to abstract this a little bit, and I'm going to have to go pick Leanne up in a few minutes. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly give you the brief for Siegfried's mission, and I'm going to leave you with a little thing for you to ponder while I'm gone. So,
Well, it's maybe a good place to leave it, Dave, for the night.
If you want to leave it there, but I'll do this first because it took me quite an enormously annoying time to do this. So I'm just going to quickly do this. It'll take a couple of minutes. Plex brings you into Siegfried and your new companions. Brings you into his stinking chamber again, and he swipes all this equipment off this hollow table, and he basically says, I've acquired floor plans, my lord. Floor plans for our target. And he tells you she is in a hab block in substack 334 Gamma 12. Somewhere on the 334th level, close to the hive skin, I have tracked her ladyship's movement to the 8th floor of the northeastern quadrant of the hab block, but am unable to determine anything more specific. I have, however, obtained floor plans. He seems very pleased with himself.
Very good.
And these are the floor plans he gives you. Where's it gone? Here it goes. Right. Should be able to click on that and zoom in a bit. He says, access points. There are several. The northern edge of the block has a pair of exposed balconies, each shared by 2 hab cubes.
Yeah, I know.
The balcony The balcony can be reached by climbing up from street level or descending from the roof of the hab block. Alternatively, common power cables stretch to 20 metres across the main roadway to an adjacent hab block to the north. Of note, each window on that wall appears to be barred. Cutting through may alert someone nearby. From the west, one could gain entrance from the northwestern quadrant of the same floor. In addition, there is a stairwell that leads up from street level. Easterly access is also possible through another pair of windows, again barred, but unlike the northern windows, these have no balcony. Access from the south point is possible through the connecting corridor from the southeast quadrant of the block. There are also a pair of ascenders in the centre of the block. My lord, as always, I defer to you. And you can leave that for now if you want and plan it properly when we do the next session.
Cool.
Yeah, no problem. That sounds good. Excellent stuff.
So,
thanks for the game, David.
Thanks for
Yeah, enjoy that
one.
Always a pleasure.
what we'll try and do next time, we'll do that mission, and if we get chance, depending on how quick that goes, we'll do Springs Crime Club as well, because that'll be a short mission.
Cool.
Dave, thanks for letting me happy with Silas a little bit, actually, because usually I've just got to roll and see where I go. It was nice to have a little bit of it. I just felt like it was... I tried to hurry it on because I was... but it's
yeah, that's part of the problem when it's power play, innit? You feel like you're hogging
I'm gonna go, guys.
sometimes. See you later, Johnny.
Okay, Johnny.
But yeah,
Okay. I'll see you soon.
hopefully we...
See you, Johnny.
Like I've said before, I want to rattle through some of this power play, and I want to get you out on 2 proper missions, and that's where you'll split the teams again and what have you. So, right, I'm off because I've got to go pick Leanne up. I shall catch you later.
See you later, mate.
See you later, dude.
See you later, Dave.